Hello, happy New Year, and welcome to Tales from the Quiet on the Set. Hello, happy New Year, and welcome to Tales from the Dark Side, your Star Wars news and weekly comic recap presented by Renovision. Marvel dropped 5 new Star Wars comics this past week, and well, we're going to review them all. And then we update 10 key Star Wars comics and see how they've fared over the past few months. And of course, we've got your weekly Star Wars news update. Let's get it going, fellas.
Well, that's one way to start off a show. Thank you for that, Jedi. Sorry about ruining your.
Dom just drops something right before we start. No idea.
It was hilarious. Yeah, no clue, but it was hilarious. Real quickly, before we say hi to the chat today, I'm going to switch it up. Before we say hi to chat, because we got a lot of new members out there who are resubbing up because we reworked the sub structure because we're going to focus more on different type of content, but we want more people to be able to participate. So yeah, so our new membership structure is a lot different financially, I guess. I don't know how.
Yeah, be more accessible. More.
Very good.
Plus, it also doesn't put feel strain on myself. I can't do the t-shirt thing as often as I was.
Very good. So anyways, Jedi, but if you could tell us who is in the room this week, I'd appreciate it.
Will do. His New Year's goal is not to rant or troll. Good luck with that. It's Macho Man Marco.
That didn't last long.
His channel grew in 2022. Not yet close to being number 1, but F it. Who cares? He's having fun. It's the visionary Pete Renovision. And his Christmas stocking was filled with bounty pucks from the guild. He's going to have a busy 2023. It's the great Dom Tober. And he had parents pissed when his kids told their kids Santa didn't exist. It's Wayseeker Rune.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Thanks.
That's not what I think. I know. That's you're playing with fire there. All right, let's
wait a minute.
Go ahead.
When this guy speaks, our viewership peaks. It's the guy behind the curtain, JJ Maxwell. He'll be joining us later. And Old Anxi and Happy New Year. Tomorrow's a holiday, so have another beer because there's no telling how long Marco is going to keep us here. It's me, Jedi Johnson, 22. Let's go.
Whatever that show overran, from what I hear, it was a great show, and whatever, good stuff. Okay, go ahead. Thank you, Jedi, for that. Let's say hi to Tommy. He's always first. Thanks again for the sub. First Star Wars show Sunday show of the year. First Star Wars Sunday show of the year. Happy New Year's to all. Cheers. Rock on. Thank you, Tommy.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Dom saying, yep. All right, that's gonna be your saying today, Dom. Yes. Well, it's like, yeah. I don't even know how to say yes like that. Yes. Star Wars Sunday. Happy New Year, people.
Oh, Marco, you missed one because I think you came in late.
Oh, Dom, sorry. Go ahead. Well, who did I miss?
John was the first one.
Oh, John was? Please.
Yeah.
Sorry, John. Oh, John. Hey, John. Yeah, I missed you. I'm sorry about that. John Sanders. This is the wait, do it. Say it, put it up so I can read it. I can't read it. This is a show that I've been waiting for. Good. I'm glad, John. We're back. We're doing great. Sith Rule. Thank you for the membership, Sith. Rock on, nerds. Rock on. Appreciate it. Ed. Everyone sing I'm the Taxman. Oh, Taxman. Right? You can take the rainbow, wrap it in a side. You can. How do you? Was it to what beat?
We don't want Marco to sing that.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
You can take the rainbow, wrap it in a sigh, soak you for your funds, and make your groovy ass pie. Taxman can. Oh, how? Like that's nice. The Taxman can. Okay, the Candyman can. It's to the Candyman can. Okay. Thank you, Steve, for that. Good stuff. Joe says, thanks for the sub, Joe. Dude, I have a John Daly story, as a matter of fact. Hell of a guy, hell of an interesting guy, he's just a hell of a guy. He's a hell of something. Had to make my avatar the most powerful Jedi in the galaxy tonight. So you made it. So that is who it is, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I thought it was Ric Flair when it was really small, but
No, dude, I was drinking at the bar and smoking with him when I used to smoke when I was really younger, like in my 20s when I worked for a certain energy drink company. And yeah, I think people who talk about his partying days really tamper down Daly's party. Like Daly's partying days or something else. So who else we got? Darth Lopez, thank you for the sponsorship or membership. Thrawn is overrated. That's incorrect statement, sir. And if you want to see Darth Lopez make more incorrect statements, feel free to go watch last night's SNS, where he completely makes a ton of wrong ones. So, who else we got? Okay, Funhouse. Good to see you, Funhouse. It's nice when the show starts on time. I like that and I appreciate it. What's the good word, Pete? Pete, tell them what the good word is.
pumpernickel.
God almighty.
We need a new word.
Blue Beetle, cool. We actually do because we've got a new shirt. We got a new shirt. We're gonna introduce a little bit. Blue Beetle, cool guy, which used to be TMT, cool guy. Thanks for the sub. Sticks. Where were you yesterday, Sticks? 2022 out, 2023 is in. May the force be with you all this year. Happy New Year's, I guess. Oh man, Perez, Shashel. Good evening, fellas. Is that right, Shashel? If it is or close, at least give me a half a thumbs up. I appreciate it. Appreciate you being here. Good evening, fellas. Ruben's up, everyone. AOA, first day, Joy, very good. Welcome. Wookie Fodder. What's up, everyone? Yeah, everybody's in the chat today. Okay, Happy New Year. Did we get Wookie Fanatic 19? Nope. Happy News Crew. Cool. And this is a long one today. John, you missed me. Okay, I got back to you. Sorry about that. Dusty Baker. Happy New Year's, Dusty Baker. Sarth, good to see you. Sarth Chang. Happy New Year's, gents. Happy New Year's. He said, yes, we got it right. That's probably the first and last time I'll get your name right. I'm sorry, but I'll get anybody's name right. So that's the first ever. Terry Floyd. Hey, all. Terry Floyd, what do you got here? Is that the Lone Ranger?
It's Snuffleupagus with the Lone Ranger.
Thank you, Dom. Lone Ranger Snuffleupagus. There you go. Did I miss Frankie? Frankie, what's up? Okay, let's go. Let's get it started. We're getting to some news. I forgot to load in the comics. So if we could, Pete, do we have a segment for news?
I got it.
I think Wayseeker's got it.
Oh, I thought we had an intro, but go ahead. You're cool. All right.
That was when it was JJ's. I got to redo it now if it's Wayseeker.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
What respect you show this
JJ
Wayseeker
will hopefully take it back over sometime.
It
Hopefully.
says Double J's news on it.
All right, go ahead.
All right. It was not much going on. This is slow time. So we have a few news things and a few things that, I don't know, we can joke around about.
Boom, joke around, make it work.
But we did get another teaser trailer that did drop for the Bad Batch. Had a few new scenes, nothing much. It was called Freedom, which it showed some new armor for some of the Bad Batch characters. We also got the poster figures, and so I have them here. See what you think of the new armor look for them all. There's Tech Echo and Hunter here. And you have here a Wrecker, Crosshair, and Omega.
Hey, Eric, Merry New Year.
So I think Crosshair looks the best. I really enjoy that one.
Well, the Wrecker, if they're trying to hide from the Empire, I think that they're dead. Get the same type of armor, so kind of you can't hide wearing just a different color armor and looking the same as the original one.
What?
That's what.
So we don't got long to wait for this one. This one's coming out Wednesday.
Star Wars. Okay. Well, Dom started the new year out right. Hey, first off, Chad Cave apparently missed SNS last night, where we say that if you're from the great state of Michigan, you put an S on everything, including our grocery stores, our car dealerships, and everything else. So we will continue saying Happy New Year's here. But Happy New Year's to you too, Chad. Eric, Merry Christmas too, or Happy New Year's, whatever it is. Cool. All right. I'm excited
to repack all of these. There's no doubt about it. Yep.
This is just to sell toys, right? This is the whole purpose of Star Wars. It's to sell toys, and they're doing a great job with it. I will say that I think it's time. Like, I think at one point, I don't know how everybody else felt, but at one point it felt like we were getting, I hate to say too much content, but a ton the content all at the same time between Marvel and Star Wars. And I'm kind of in the mood now. Maybe it's because the holidays are over. I'm like, damn, I just want like. I was thinking the other day. I mean, I know Willow's still on, but I was thinking like, I really want something new to start. I know Lost of Us is starting, but like Star Wars base, I think it's time. I think we're ready. I think we're hungry, and I think this might
in case,
Watch National Treasure.
in case there's anybody that lost track of this, like I did, apparently. Bad Batch season 2 starts Wednesday, right? This Wednesday.
Right. 2 episodes drop on Wednesday. Regular, normal length, not longer length episode. So 22 minutes or whatever they're going to be, right?
Yeah.
So just
so it should be good.
Yeah. No, it'll be. I'm excited for getting back. We have that to talk about next week. So
Yeah.
Yep. Your purpose is to buy Star Wars.
Omika's
toys.
great. And Omika's great. And if I recall correctly, Miss Jedi Johnson is an extremely fan of Hunter, right? Is it Hunter or is it
No, she likes Omega.
Omega.
Oh, she does like Omega? Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought there was another. I thought she was like either wanted Hunter to change Crosshair back, or she was a fan of Crosshair. I can't remember which one that was. But
She likes Hunter.
Hunter's the good looking one.
He's the good looking one, so the ladies love him.
they're cartoons. They're like
Doesn't mean they're not good looking or bad looking. There doesn't matter.
They all
right,
come out
Come on,
awesome.
Marco.
it does. They're because they're okay. I'm not gonna get into that. All right. Well,
They
that's
are,
cool.
but they aren't.
I thought you were the Omega fan, Jedi. I thought you were a huge fan of Omega. Is this not true?
Yeah, I like her when she doesn't get too mouthy.
Well, she's a kid. You like every kid when they don't get too mouthy. So,
Yeah, listen,
hey,
look at
Justin,
Ezra.
what's going on?
Ezra was a
National
whiny
treasure.
kid, and he got better as the season went on.
Yeah, I think that's what they do in general. Mhm.
Yeah.
Is it Joe? I haven't checked it out yet. I'm mildly curious.
I don't know if I am. Hey, Chef Harris. That's a lot of
Keeping going on.
New Year's.
Happy New Year.
So
Go ahead. What's next?
they came out today. It was one of the writers announced, or maybe it was yesterday, that there will be connections between Bad Batch season 2 and The Mandalorian, and then they teased, at the end of season 1, the outfit for the person where they took the Camomian doctor looks a lot like Pershing. So it sounds like we're going to get more into the cloning technology and some ties into how it got developed into the Pershing. So people are speculating we're going to get Baby Yoda. I don't think we're going to get Baby Yoda, but that's what rumors are coming out after the director made these comments.
Wouldn't that be a link? Wouldn't that be a link more to Clone Wars, the original 3 movies, because there was cloning technology introduced into them, which they would still be using at this point? Then it would be with the Mandalorian. Just saying, not saying, but just saying.
I mean, the director said it was going to be tied to Mandalorian. So
I
Well, I think it's going to. They might be trying to tie to.
What I'm saying is, did the director know there was something called the Clone Wars before this, or no? That's what I'm kind of hinting at.
I actually think what's going to happen is that they're going to get more into depth on what Palpatine really wanted to do with the cloning facilities and how he wanted to make himself immortal to live longer. So and they're going to get maybe deep into depth on that.
Good. That's a great storyline. That's done very well so far. Yeah, really interesting. He's like, people really like that portion of what's going on.
Rise
So
of
that's-
Skywalker. I couldn't get enough of that.
I'm really excited that they're going to go back into that portion. That won't ruin this show real quick.
Well, don't worry about it. 30 years. It's 30 years. We have enough content that's going to be in between that before. 30 years. Don't worry.
they blew up the facility sticks, but they took the Camomian
What's the
doctor,
name? Was
right?
it Laura?
They did. They
very
took the
end,
Camomian doctor,
What's the name?
They took the doctor at the very end of season 1, and
which is also like it's literally the basis of Clone Wars was the Camomian.
Yeah,
one?
right.
Is it Laura Singh or Laura
It's a new
Song?
project,
Right.
but they're using the doctor that did it, and as you can see, the outfit's the same.
Well, there might actually. So that Wayseeker, do you know this? There was 2 different facilities originally in canon where they were doing clone projects. I know the one they blew up, but is the other one still in existence, or are they just going to try to?
Well,
I think they're just going to.
They're just
remember,
going to buy it, skeet.
Yeah.
remember
Sure, you're just not thinking of Jurassic
that,
Park where they had the other
Amiga?
island.
Remember the one Amiga and Fennec Shan went to when Cad Bane went after them? They were up in the there was a cloning facility there when they shot the glass and the chameleons fell on top of Fennec Shan. There was a cloning thing like in the sky, like the other facility that they
That wasn't that just transfer? No, I'm talking like there's a whole nother city,
okay.
like a whole nother city.
Yeah.
Uh,
We'll find out sticks. I don't know if they'll be in.
yeah, maybe they'll just use that. Cloning is a little bit. It's like other things. I think they should probably. I think sometimes they have a good idea that sounds great, and then they're like, let's instead of just leaving it to the to people's imagination, which I think is part of
Yeah, I think it's just
part of
been
the thing that's
overdone.
made Star Wars very successful. I think it's like World Between Worlds is another thing.
Yeah, I
too.
think what do you think is much more that fans would like, cloning or time travel?
Neither.
I think fans will like time travel more. I'm just worried about how we'll do it. Like,
Yeah, no.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I think
It's tricky.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think you kind of just leave that up to. I think if you asked, if it was a poll, I think fans would say because they've seen a lot of cloning, they'd say time travel. But that's because in their mind, it's a lot better than what it would be if it actually ever came to Star Wars. If it comes to Star Wars, it's going to be a disaster.
Well,
So,
look, I'm going to be talking about Ahsoka down the road, but the fact is that I am worried. The fact is if how they use the World Between Worlds,
yeah,
and because look, we all know that she was taken out of the World Between Worlds, saved by Ezra in Rebels. That's the thing. Now we have to figure out that time period now, because remember when she's taken out and there was a lot of time went by.
all right.
Or we don't, and we just
Or we
leave
don't.
it as
Or
it happens.
as the chat is
move on.
saying, we're not touching it. So
Yeah,
like
they could do that too.
don't
They
touch
could
it.
just say, you know what, this is
Yeah.
too much of a.
It's probably the best option. Once again, it's probably the best option to not touch it.
but
Yeah.
you know they are. They put it in the artwork. They're gonna touch it.
Yeah, but I mean, like they could
They're
lightly.
gonna do
hopefully-
something with it. Maybe it won't be big, but they're gonna do
right?
something.
But I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying is like if they don't really like
There was an article I told you guys before. There was an article in the original one of the original writings. of
Seeker,
Empire Strikes Back.
stop it, what you're doing. Next, let's
I
go.
didn't do anything.
Yeah, go next. Next
Next.
piece of news article.
All right,
No.
this one was reported. Rumor that Pete did a couple weeks ago. We haven't
Yeah,
had a
yeah.
chance to do it, but this one's taken up by I don't know about 10 12 different sources. So I'm pretty sure this one is likely. There's a lot of other rumors about all the other characters, which I'm not getting into, but this one.
So I didn't know everybody didn't know we saw her back end. How do I say this night?
Yeah, no, but we didn't know who
Who was
being-
playing it? That was because everybody's like, yeah, dude, they there's an actress, so that means there's Hera, and I'm like, well, no, but we already saw Hera, and they're like, no, we did. I thought we all saw Hera. We all have seen Hera.
We all
right?
saw Hera. We just didn't know who was playing Hera.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm so confused with that because I think some
Yeah,
people
that's,
didn't
that-
know
that's
that.
the thing. We knew she was
Yeah,
cast.
okay.
We knew Hera was there. We just never knew.
All right.
the-
Okay,
the-
cool.
This is and Mary Elizabeth Weinstead's Obi-Wan's spouse. So-
Which he'd also said she's doing something in Star Wars. So we knew both those two things. We just didn't know she was Hera.
Yeah,
And people are now flipping out because that they're. Please try to explain to me why people are flipping out about this. Dom, why are people flipping out about this? You know,
Because
You
it's
gotta
not,
get
it's not the voice actress who did Hera for the cartoon. It's the
is
same.
that it?
No, nobody's flipping.
No.
People are flipping out because it's Obi-Wan's spouse, and they're like, "Oh,
No, it's always well, but they're also flipping out the same thing it did with Ashley Eckstein with Ahsoka. They really love the characters that did the voices, and now that they're changing the characters,
think they should have used Ashley.
nobody."
Do you really think everybody would rush out to see the new Batman movie if Mark Hamill was playing actually the Joker? Yeah, they love
Probably.
the animated show, but do we really need to see him playing the
No.
Joker?
You don't know why? If you can explain to me why people rush out to see those shitty Batman movies, anyways, it's beyond me. I'm just saying
Batman was great.
it's got to be something because we knew that she was going to be a part. I think he might be onto something because we knew she was going to be a part. We knew Hera was going to be a part. But the amount of stuff when this news came out, like people were like really because I thought it was that they were like, oh, I thought they were excited because Hera was going to be in, the thing. No, it wasn't that. Like because we all knew that already. So I just don't understand it's cool. I don't care. I'm just trying to figure out why people are so
Yeah.
gung ho about this mix up.
Yep.
We should not.
Keep moving forward. Ron Howard came out this week and said, I know
thank
all
you,
the
AOA.
people that with the movie are wanting to make it happen, but I've been in contact and there are no
Oh,
plans
is that why?
for Solo. Never say never, but it's not happening.
Thank
So-
you.
So-
Dom, would you like to rebut this?
no. Well, listen, I think there's no there's no sequel that they're gonna do, but spin-offs eventually on Disney Plus.
I
Yes,
don't think
only-
so. I don't think so. I mean, I think they wanted to do the Lando spinoff, but it's just the actor keeps booking himself for other things. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think he's going to make it a priority for that to happen.
Wayseeker, that's not the spinoff he's talking about, and you know it. You know it.
Spinoffs, plural.
Yeah, that's not the one he's talking about. He's talking the other one he made up, or somebody made up, which is not
Crimson
happening.
Dawn?
It's not.
Crimson Dawn with Darth Maul and Kira. I know Kira is highlighting the comics, but that could have been really cool just to see that part when she trained with Maul. That timeline right there, because there's a huge timeline before she showed
Thanks
up.
for your membership, Marv. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no,
Sorry,
it's not
I'm muted.
happening.
The actor that played Han in Solo has been doing other work. What the hell?
No,
I haven't seen
Lando.
him in
The
it.
person
Lando.
playing
No,
Okay.
Yeah.
Tyler,
Oh,
It'd be
okay.
the hypno
The one that's doing
hustler. or
Lando
whatever.
keeps, he just signed up for another project.
Yeah, the next.
They announced the
Spider-Man
Lando
spinoff.
spinoff, right? At about 2019 at Celebration. But it's just not going to go anywhere
Because I mean, this guy, I don't even remember his
Not
name. The
priority.
guy that played Han, he would probably do a Disney series for a sandwich every day. I mean, I haven't seen him in anything.
I'm sure.
So would the guy that plays Chewbacca, because I have seen him.
You have?
But
Yeah,
Lando, I
recently.
don't think will happen.
Recently, it was like, wait, what? Oh, wait, you've played Chewbacca? Okay, all right.
So we also Daniel Craig came out. Daniel Craig.
No. Hey, real quickly, Marv, you didn't forget to re-up. We changed around the subscription packages, so
Yeah.
just so you know. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Sorry, I didn't mean to waste your. Go ahead.
Daniel Craig. We had a cameo in was it Force Awakens, right?
Yep.
As a stormtrooper, and this week he was doing a press for Knives, whatever the new Knives movie
Glass
is.
Onion.
Yeah, and so he talked about how he really was happy that he was able to do the cameo, but it was miserable. Like he said, he would never do it again. He couldn't even feel his fingers by the end of the day
Because it's in the worst trilogy. out of all
because
of them.
the stormtrooper suit is just that uncomfortable. He's like, if you ever get a chance to be a stormtrooper, don't do it. It's miserably
always good.
uncomfortable and hot, and so he
What,
said he
just
couldn't.
like a black leotard and some white plastic on you. What's so bad about that?
Like I said, it was a light week for news, and so we got to pull what we can.
He's probably sweating his ball sack off.
This one, if you are a PlayStation Plus member, you haven't played one of the better Star Wars games in the last 10 years. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order will be coming to PlayStation Plus. It might have came today. I don't know when their January lineup comes out. So, yep. So you can get that
I
for
still
free.
haven't played this.
Yeah,
Well,
I've been saving it like it's on the back burner.
it's a good one. I really enjoyed it. So, yeah. And then we had some other game news. This one is for JJ, who's not here yet. Star Wars Dark Forces got a mod. A individual spent 3 years of their life rebuilding the game for modern gameplay, and I hear it's absolutely amazing. Dark Forces was one of the better Star Wars games of the 90s.
Fair enough.
Ring the bell.
All right, go ahead. That's just gold. James Bond couldn't do it. 300-pound cosplayer could. Holy shit. Joe, Jesus, give him another bell. Happy New Year, man. Fucking hey.
yes, I will do Boba Fett all day.
Oh,
All right.
You played Dark Forces, right, Marco? Back in the day.
Yes, back in the day. Yes.
Great game, great shooter. And it's a modern first. They say it plays like a modern, contemporary first-person shooter. So, if you haven't played Dark Forces and you want the mod, it's out there. It just came out like 2 weeks ago, and I've only heard really good things about it. So, I mean, kudos to somebody who spent 3 years of their life making it. Like that's just great to me.
Yeah.
But hey,
No, that's cool.
it's a great way to play the game if you haven't played it before. For those over in Europe, I guess you can also get the subscribing. But there's the rare Bo-Katan minifig for Legos is going to be included in an upcoming Lego Star Wars magazine. And so I think these are only sold in Europe. Is that right?
Yeah.
But you can
magazine?
subscribe
Yeah.
and get the United States.
It's a Lego magazine that they always have like a little Lego piece.
They have a Lego piece, or they have a small build. They kind of rotate between the two, like a mini build of a bigger set. And so I think this one's coming out in the March Lego Star Wars magazine. So
Yeah, because otherwise you got to buy her ship, right? That's the only way
What?
to get her.
Yeah,
yeah, it was in the Mando ship last year.
So if it's coming out in March, how is it rare already? I mean, I don't.
Because it's only been in one set, and the set sold out.
The figure is right now.
It was an
rare.
expensive set. It was
And
a
it's
very
probably a
expensive
different paint deco than the one that was in the.
set. No, it's probably not.
It's probably not. It's probably the
It's
exact
probably
same.
the exact same
Yeah.
one.
Oh, okay.
So after
Yeah.
March, it's not going to be rare anymore. Is that what?
That's still be rare.
You can buy the magazine for $9, but you got to pay $25 shipping. Don't worry about it.
In the United States, but if you're in Europe, you can get it.
And they ship it
So
to me.
you get helping out the European viewers out there that are viewing.
The European, if we could get enough money over, we can send some money over to the European viewers. Maybe we can get a box of these shipped to us.
Hey, I'm
Yeah.
still trying to find my my chair, my Boba Fett chair. In Europe.
You need a chair and some Lego mags.
So anyway, I thought that was kind of cool. For those Europeans might want to be interested in that one. It's coming in March. And here we got news. This was taken from On Mars. And so
Sorry, shit. My bad. I'll mute. Let me mute. Okay, go ahead.
this is their sampler that they collected Mars rocks in. And so is this a lightsaber or is this a rock sample tube? I'll let you be the judge.
I think this is just one of the pics that we got from the leaked Darth Maul Ahsoka footage from the
This
Acolyte.
is actually a picture that NASA put out. So you know.
Hey, this is the NASA guys in their 300-pound stormtrooper suits cosplaying out fucking side of the parking lot. I know exactly where this is. This is bullshit.
With the
No,
silver
wait,
hanging
so-
on the mountain, you're like this on the
But I do
computer.
think the people made it to look like a lightsaber. I think they were bored or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
make it
So to
fun.
be clear, this is not something that we found on Mars. This is
Yeah,
something
no.
we left behind on Mars.
This is something that
Supposedly.
Supposedly,
Yeah.
okay.
Make
Supposedly.
sure that we're
Marco
clear on
also
that.
doesn't think we landed on the moon. So you know
That's
that's
actually
I think- no, I don't think that either of those two things, us getting stuff from Mars or landing on the moon, I believe in both those things. I just think, I don't think that's a picture of Mars.
Me personally, I think that they should take trips out to space and put Star Wars merchandise on every planet, just to have it out there. So when the
Because that's what
planet
space
evolves-
needs is more junk.
Yeah.
Yeah, when the planet evolves, Star Wars will be the first thing they see.
It-
Look what we
it's-
found, the Stormtrooper in the year 3055.
A moon's not a fucking planet.
Yeah, and then all the Star Trek guys are going to want to do the same thing, and then all the Firefly people, and all the Battlestar Galactica people, and all of a sudden, space is going to be filled with a lot of our junk.
Listen, my toys could go over there. Please take it.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
so good. Like I said, it was a light week for news.
Ring the bell for the Boba Fett
Fett. That's what we got. We got
That's good
Mars
stuff. No, it's
lightsaber.
all right. Yeah, Mars lightsabers, a tube that they think, yeah. Okay.
That is the
With all the spray paint on Mars that they have.
Parking Star Wars.
Oh boy,
Okay, good
Wow.
stuff.
that's actually funny.
Sabine Wren was there.
Oh Jesus Christ.
Oh,
Okay, well there we
Trying
go.
to bring some humor to the news.
It was funny. It was funny. Good job. Best Star Wars news all year long segment. Good job.
It's the
It's
first
the
one.
first of the year. The first
Oh well,
one.
shit. Well, I mean, there you go. Then I mean, I don't know
Set
what
the
that
bar
says.
high for
Yeah,
next week.
I don't
There
know
you
what it says.
Ring
Or
the bell.
low.
Ding.
Or low. It was the only one there. So all right. Speaking of bars set low, we've got 5 Star Wars comics to review. I'm just gonna say it now, and I know I'll say it again because people won't miss it. But Marvel didn't have an FOC, so you won't see FOC, but we do have next week coming. The Blade. If you really like this character, I would suggest you looking up the price of the 1 in 25 because it's cheap. It's real
What
cheap.
cover is this? Because
This is the B.
This is me. Yeah.
I don't like this one.
Did I get that cover?
To be honest with you, most of the cover, even the 125, it's where he's hitting the cards. It's not good.
I
So-
like the one that's the
A.
the close up.
Yeah, the A is the best
Okay,
cover for
that's
sure.
the best
I
one.
don't know if I
Yeah.
have that.
Yeah.
I can't
I
remember.
haven't
all
got
I
the
got.
Firefly's not
125.
bad, John. What's that?
I haven't got the 1 in 25. I love this character, but I don't like the cover.
You can get it for like $6.
I
I
know.
got the 1 in 25. I got
How much did you pay for it, Down?
15.
All right, good.
Yeah,
Under ratio.
under
That's
ratio,
good. Fair,
fine.
fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, after you get shipping and stuff online, it's probably about the
Yeah.
same price as you. All right, so he starts off. I don't know.
We
I
need
don't
to
know.
talk about. We need to
The
talk about
knives are like
timeline.
regular. Earth
There's
was
some confusing parts about this book to me.
Okay, what's the problem with the timeline?
Go on when we get
Because it says it was.
when we get to the flashback with him
Like
and the
what-
kid, like that doesn't make sense to me. So I want you to explain that to me. So,
Okay, all right. So real quickly, so they got him with the knives going. He's almost John Wicking it up, and then all of a sudden he
I thought
turns
was under
into.
siege cooking.
Hold on. Then he turns into. Hey Dom, thanks for. Pete, thanks for stepping on all my shit, dude. Good job. Okay, so that's the New Year thing now. Dom's not gonna do it anymore, but now Pete is. All right. So then he goes into Under Siege style, starts cooking up, and of course somebody complains about his food. So how do you think that's gonna go? Well, it went perfectly fine because they started a riot outside. So
he said he's going to get better at it. It was a nice little.
He
joke.
admitted he's a bad cook. He just likes to do it.
He said,
Yeah.
"I like it. I'm going to get better at it."
Kind of, but you could tell he was kind of like, all right, fine. So he grabs the deck of cards. See, because wasn't the guy playing cards? Maybe not, but I thought he stole a card from him. Either way.
Playing
They
some-
were
There
playing
was card
Sabat.
games going
He took
on.
Yeah,
Sabat.
so he said, I'm going to get, you guys didn't see I thought that was kind of funny. I thought he was like, oh, I'll get better at it, and then stole the cards. Like, fuck you, dude. You don't
But
like
they
my
know
cooking.
he stole the cards. He said, "I'll bring them back."
Yeah, either way. Takes him outside. He's not bringing him back. He has no plans on bringing these cards back. You do
I
know
He
that,
lied
right?
to them, but
Okay.
he said that.
Just like he said he plans on getting better as cooking. That's
Well,
my plan.
no, to be fair, at the time he didn't know how things were going to
I
unfold.
think he
outside.
did. I think he knew how it was gonna go.
He might have intended to bring them back.
When his sister wife called him outside, I think he knew how things were going to go outside. So that we did get our first appearance of Barash. Dom, what is that?
first appearance.
Very good.
Cameo.
Yeah, very good. Cameo first. Yeah, cameo 2 first appearance. Very good. So then he goes out there and he starts floating the Sabak cards around. There's a fight. These people. It's really interesting because when they said they were going to go frontier style, I didn't think they were literally going to go. We're digging up gold in the fucking gold rush. Like I didn't think
I
that
told
was.
you this was going to be the Texas Rangers comic. I told you.
No, no, yeah, kind of.
Texas
Right,
comic.
right. But that's a
I told
reference.
you that. Why don't you listen to me?
When they
Wait,
say
that's the difference, though. Walker Texas Ranger is much different than panhandling for gold.
yeah.
They're
When they
different
said,
things.
yeah, when they said it, I'm like, like they kind of do the Seven Samurai thing all the time, but they kind of don't exactly do. No, fuck. They're like, yeah, they're fucking panning for gold and shit out here. But instead of gold, it was crystals. And one side told the other side that it's their crystals and blah, blah, blah. And then they ended up shooting guns. Big surprise. But the guns didn't go pew, pew, which is a very point. Remember this. It went vert, vert. I guess different noise in the High Republic era than what we'll see later. But the blade obviously decides to deflect these. And that wasn't your question, Wayseeker? Like, why did
No,
the
when
blasters
they're
make them-
kids, when they're kids, it doesn't make sense to me.
Oh, but it wasn't how the blasters all of a sudden started making different
No,
noises.
no, that's
Okay,
fine.
okay, fine. All right, so then he deflected all through the whole deck. The guy's not getting the tech. How's my cooking now? Was my joke that Wayseeker decided to step all over. Okay, so next up, they drop their
that
guns
was
and
me.
they run. Oh, very good. And then they do the flashback, which is, I guess we're rushing to the flashback because Wayseeker has a question here.
So yeah. So in Light of the Jedi, we
Right.
learn that he's like 300 years old.
Right.
So this takes place 150 years before,
Plus another 25.
and then another 25. He's a kid here. So he's
Yes.
a 125-year-old little kid.
Isn't Yoda like
Grogu's 50 and in diapers, bro.
Yeah, but are you telling me the Koreans, they age that slowly? He's 125 years old here?
Maybe.
Yes.
That makes no sense. So then he
Grogu's in
ages
diapers at
naturally?
50, so if you
Then
do
he
another
ages
50.
naturally from 125 to 150.
He's not in diapers.
Well, look at Yoda.
Yeah,
He
well,
ages the same way. So
He's
like the
wearing
first
robes.
125 years, he just doesn't
Yoda's
age.
gonna go 900
And then he
years.
ages
Star
at the
Wars.
same rate as Barash from here on
Star
out.
Wars.
no, how do you know that how do you know that here he is, I mean, if he's 150, how do you know that he hasn't technically aged more here and that she ages faster? Like her
Because
metabolism.
they're aging at the same time because 25 years later they look
No,
like.
but she says it later on the thing that she does age faster than him, so you don't
I
know.
know, but
But maybe he's just slowing
that
down.
doesn't make sense here.
No, what I'm saying is your medium doesn't make sense. You're having the median that she's the median and she follows a normal aging process. What if her process is extremely fast and his is extremely slow? So they're the yin and yang of processes.
But go back to the art. Look how much older he looks 25 years later.
Well, that's because he's been shot a lot in the ears, obviously.
Come on.
It's different art. Right? It's a
He's
different art.
100. We're supposed to believe he's 125 years right here as this little kid, and she's 8.
Absolutely.
Listen, Wayseeker.
It's
No.
still worse.
Wayseeker,
No.
I'm 200
Come
years old.
on.
I'm 200
on.
years old. So there you go.
God!
This
don't get
really
that.
bugged me. Like this does not make sense.
But it's Star Wars. The Star
I
Wars
don't
makes
care.
sense.
It doesn't make sense. And he
Star Wars.
ages. He doesn't age at all for the first 125 years, and then he starts aging like naturally.
Well,
Maybe he
it's-
Benjamin buttoned it
Listen,
and then reversed.
Darth
it
Maul
again.
has 2 hearts. The
That's
the
fine.
The
don't
Grand
age-
Inquisitor has 2 stomachs.
You don't age not at all, and then you start aging.
Wars.
And then he doesn't. Then he just stops because he can live for like 150 years, and I don't know. There's timeline stuff here doesn't make sense.
Well, I think the timeline.
If that's the biggest problem that you have in Star Wars comics today, we're living the good life. I'm
To be
just telling
fair,
you that.
he does have a point. That means he's got a limited window where he's like an adult in his prime, but it's like this small because he's either a
What?
little kid for 125 years, then he's an old man. And
Yeah, but what if this is a cocoon? What if this is a cocoon and he splits out of the cocoon and turns into a wonderful battled butterfly?
oh, I thought you meant like the
Wars.
Wilford Brimley movie Cocoon.
No, cocoon.
Yeah,
Just like
the
Cocoon.
movie with Donna.
Yeah,
Meeks.
no, not that, not that.
Okay.
Either way, so they meet as kids, and he pretty much she's like, "Fuck you, I hate people." He's like, "I love people. You just need to talk to people. Let's be friends." And then that somehow turns them into family.
Cooking's the way.
Then we get to this little doohickey where they're going to look for a new job to do or people to save or whatever. The Jedi apparently put out these like are they almost
Make
like
a quick
bounties,
email
but
in the
they're
chat.
not.
Well-
They're gonna email me.
They're like good
Can
deal
we back up
bounties.
real quick? Can we
Please.
back up just a
No.
little bit?
Yes,
No.
but no. Yes, go ahead.
Well, I mean, so at the end of the altercation between the two prospectors, she obviously has some sort of. I mean, she's got the Force. Obviously, she's a Jedi, but she's able to sense who's lying or who's telling
Yeah.
the truth.
Yeah,
So
I
he
guess.
just kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we ask for more Jedi or more Force users, I'm not quite sure. I was going to talk about this later on if we're actually happy about or can we
Well,
tail it
basically,
back
she's
in?
like the Jedi's are like superheroes. You got your Daredevil
They all
can
get
feel your
their mutant
heartbeat.
powers.
You know,
Yeah, I was going to do that in the next book because it just becomes like a point where like but we'll talk about it in the next book a little bit more. But yes, Jedi, the answer yes. That's her superpower is she can now Jedi don't just have Jedi powers, they also have superpower, and her superpower is she has the lasso of truth in her head.
Yeah, basically.
So here we go. They land on there, and now Jedi's also have got like a bounty hunter system, which makes sense. Like if they're in the wild west, out whatever.
Wow,
But-
West.
But they get to choose whatever they want, which is kind of interesting that there isn't an oversight to them. Like, why do they even have a fucking council? But whatever. They click on there, and then Wayseeker would like to translate the.
This is my type of humor.
Arabic?
Anyway, it also makes sense. They're not anywhere near Coruscant, right? They're just like
No,
out
no,
in the
they're
west.
way the fuck out there. Way the
They're
fuck
way
out
out
in the
there.
outer rim.
So this was a good Charles Soule, like putting in, good humor. He puts in this planet in the middle where they go to, which we've never heard of before. On the left, how they get out there. On the bottom there, it's Tatooine. He has the option of going to Tatooine, this planet we don't know, or Jakku. He's like, I'm not going to Tatooine. I'm not going to Jakku. I'm going to this planet we don't know anything about.
Mhm.
And I thought that was a pretty good humor that
There you
Charles
go.
Soule did.
Because everybody goes to the planets we know all the fucking time, right?
There
Is
you
this
go.
what
That's-
this is the
Yeah,
joke
you
that
want
we're
to go
doing?
back to Jakku?
go back to Tatooine.
Yep. No
Hey, could
Tatooine,
you
no
send
Jakku.
him an
I
email,
did.
please?
It's in the chat. I
Oh,
put the
okay,
email.
Okay, there we go. There we go. Good, awesome.
You're just behind on there.
Wait, I have to ask the
Oh my
question. How did you researched what that gibberish meant?
Yes.
Wayseeker?
Yeah. I mean, you can see the T's, the
it's just like
TATOO.
the-
You can see it on the bottom there. There's those little symbols that looks like it kind of looks like a
Yeah, it's like a
upside down T.
codebreaker thing.
I mean, I know there are websites where you can translate English into
I've-
this language. I didn't know there was a website where you could go this language back to.
Yeah, they just show you the
Language.
symbol. Like it looks like a 7. That's a T, and it looks like this, and that's
Yeah,
whatever.
that's
And
the
you just-
upside down thing.
yeah.
Yeah, you
It's
just
just
translate
symbols.
it back to English. That's Tatooine, and then the other one you can kind of see is that's like a J, A, and then the KKU.
KK. Either way, so they chose to go to a planet that's not there, and actually, I thought that was pretty interesting. This whole part was pretty interesting, including the fact,
It
and
was still there then, though.
it was still there, to her point. Including this part that they end up, and this is why I thought it was kind of weird. Like they end up bouncing into other. Like at first, I didn't realize it till I was like, oh, because it was just Pathfinders, and I was like, oh wait, fucking Pathfinders, like the Jedi Pathfinders, and that's what they end up running into some Pathfinders that were like, sure, we're going to give you a ride. but they were going to give him a ride because they're also already working for the Jedi because they're part of the Jedi Pathfinders. All of a sudden, as an adult that somehow is throwing Wayseeker's whole fucking grain capacity into explosion, they figure out that all the Jedi Masters want to sword fight with the blade.
Problems with the flashback.
Yeah, but now he doesn't know why he's so old. And with the blade, either way, he starts fighting another Jedi Master. I thought this was really well written. I was like, what the fuck? He's floating the blade. What the? Oh yeah, I wasn't that good at. I'm actually not that good at it. And then this line right here, where he's like, I got fucking better.
Just like with cooking. Just like with cooking. He
Yep.
wasn't good at it, and he got better.
There you go.
Okay, maybe whatever.
It's just the paralleling the cooking.
He was like, I got better. I thought it was really
He's a slow
cool.
learner, but he gets good at when he gets
That's
going.
pretty cool, but he got behind him. I got better because that better be the lightsaber in your pocket.
This is cool. I mean, Charles still talks
When they
about
found
no
all the
doubt.
art.
You're the only person. Well, maybe not the only person. But I could argue that you're the only person on that panel that thought this was a joke referencing a sexual encounter.
Charles Soule talked about this a little bit in his he was interviewed on the High Republic show, and he said he wanted to find a way to, show how good of a swords lightsaber he was, and so this was kind of his unique way of kind of showing the blade at his glory. So I thought it was really good. He wanted to do it.
Those are kind of shit ass drawn lightsabers, though. Those look like the lightsaber lollipop things. You know what I mean?
Not even. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, that's fucking
They're
horrible.
just tiny little sticks, but that I don't know.
Yeah,
I
that
don't
sucks.
think Dom's too far off because that's like a ooh la la face. He's like, ooh.
No, but it's funny. He goes, Sergey goes, that's a
This is how Dom and Pete fight with their swords. I get it. All right. Next up. Well, okay. Overall, what'd you guys think of that for the first book? Because it is the first in the series. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Were you just too preoccupied by the sexual tension on the last?
Well, no, you know what? All kidding aside,
That cover's not good.
the cover's not good, but the artwork is pretty good inside. The story, it's probably get better. How many issues is it? A 4-issue limit series?
It's
Again?
4.
4, right?
Yeah, it's a 4. Yeah, it's moving pretty fast. I mean, they gave
I
us.
thought it was.
Go ahead, Jedi.
No, so I mean, for a first issue, I thought it was pretty good. I mean, the story actually, I don't know if you covered it or maybe you stopped just before. So they got dropped off on their mission. Wherever they are has basically no communications, right? Because
What's the old
they haven't developed or networked communications out. That's what the Pathfinders are out there to do.
Yeah, doing. Yep.
Yeah,
Building
so
railroad.
I don't know. We still don't really know what they're going to get into because it kind of stops before. But
Yeah.
it's good. I
Port
like it.
Eagle
it's
had
good.
that John Wick and freaking Steven Seagal look at John Wick with the hair standing there. Like, you know what?
John Wick meets Hellboy?
I mean, yeah, well, Hellboy too. If you think
We
about it,
pretty much know where the story's going to go, though, don't we? It's going to.
She's gonna die, and he's
No,
gonna.
she's not going to die. She's going to leave the order. She's
Oh,
why it's called
yeah.
the brash vow. Like,
Mm.
why whatever
Mhm.
happens that causes her to leave the Jedi Order is
Right.
most likely what this is going to be, and then also it's going to be tied to why he becomes a cook.
Cook.
Like,
You think?
so it's
Do you
something
think?
traumatic
I
is
think
gonna
he's
happen.
gonna kill a bunch of people, and she's gonna be like, "I'm leaving." Yeah, I mean, because do you remember at the beginning of the book for the High Republic when we first introduced him? They said like, not only did he get in some big battle and was known as the Blade, but there was some incident where he occurred where, since then, he's never picked up the lightsaber in like that form again, and that's why he cooks all the time. So, and he
Well, it
looks
could
the
be
same
both,
age
right?
there.
What?
It could be both, unless I misunderstood what you guys are talking about. It could be both. Like something could happen, and that would either cause him to leave the order and become a cook or whatever, and just kind of distance himself from the order, and that would also cause her to leave the order because that history shows he's really the only reason she
Yeah.
was
Yeah,
I
stayed at
think-
the order
I think
anyway, is because of their friendship.
Okay, so in my like conspiracy Dom world, I think
Yeah.
he kills a bunch of people, and that turns her saying like, I told you it doesn't really matter. This whole thing's all a bunch of joke anyway, so I'm gonna go off by myself." That's what I think. I think
it'll be
even
interesting to see what happens. I
Yeah, me
I
too.
hope we get the story though sometime in the future that had
Yeah.
to take place before this when he was on Bardata. Like he's the story of where he becomes the Blade. So we're not going to Bardata here though. So
No. You don't think we're going there? You don't think we're going there before the end of the series? That's
No.
what I'm saying.
no, I think
Okay.
I think he's the Blade of Bardata, and that's why everybody knows him and wants to battle with him before this series takes place. So he's already the Blade here. So we don't.
But you don't think we're going to see a flashback of that?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. I don't know.
We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong.
We'll see. I think because of this, we're probably going to. High Republic 3, I chose another random cover because I don't know.
That's the crappy one I got.
Because I didn't think this was going to be that good of a book, and it maybe surprised me a little bit, but I think I found my problem. So here we go, Dom. There's Zizor. He is now part of the will right there, second panel. First appearance of Zizor as a will member. What do you got to say about that, Dom?
It is. It's definitely interesting.
That's all you got. That's all you got.
You know, like I've been wanting more aliens and more Zizor type figures, and here he is.
Like,
I know. No, but
you've been leading up to this for like a year. Like, and that's all he got.
Yeah, all you've been asking is for some like backstory on something. Anything that looked close to it, you've been like, yes, Zizor, excellent.
No, the whole fact is that the comic books do show a huge representation of the aliens in the comics. I'm talking about the TV shows. I want more aliens in TV shows.
Right.
Comic books, you know, if this can lead to
even
more alien reputation on the shows, I want that.
Even the comic books are getting lazy because I mean,
Yeah.
we'll get there, but we basically have a baby elephant as a
I was gonna get that too.
yeah.
Well,
Uh,
don't take
so-
this the wrong way. How big is his lightsaber in that first panel? Because
Yeah,
it seems to go on to infinity and beyond.
like I think they just purposely try to fuck up the first 10 issues of this High Republic book because the other one was so bad for the first like 10 issues. Anyway, so we've got Mac and Maddie and Tay back, and they're messing around with Zizor, who's in charge of the wills. And it turns out that Tay used to be part of the wills. And this Mac character is very poorly written. And once again, before I was going to get into we have too many aliens now. We also got too many Jedi. Like, it just doesn't even seem like this guy would be a fucking Jedi, right? Like, to this point, he's just a fucking asshole.
And he's
not
not
like
like one of their best Jedi.
Yeah, he's
That's
not
the
even like a
weirdest
Mace
part.
Windu. He's like, if you thought Mace Windu was kind of like, like, oh wow, look at how of a jerk Mace was. This guy's just a prick. Like, if this guy shows up, it's like, hey, I was gonna save you. I'd be like, go fuck yourself, please leave. Like, just go. You're not doing anything. And he does, and he's just like, fuck you, I don't care. Fuck the Jedi, pretty much, because he doesn't follow any of the rules to the point that Tay's like, look, this dude's not even listening to me. And the Padawan's going like, yo, dude, like you didn't have to start doing all the shit you did. Like, let's hear the guy out. He's been helping us. And Mac's just like, yeah, fuck the wills, fuck you, I don't care. And I thought that was
like
really
Maddie, but I
So
think
who
that's
do
the
you
only
look
reason
like?
like Maddie is because the other dude's just so bad. So
yeah,
like,
so bad. Like, not just bad as like a character that you're like, I don't like the character. I really think it's like so bad of a concept. Like, it does not fit. That's why I realized I don't like this book, is because unfortunately, and there's some stuff that me and Wayseeker have theorized next book is going to happen that we were excited about because it's going to link the novels over, but I'm like not even that excited anymore.
and we haven't even got the Olivia story again. We thought maybe it was going to come back at some
Right.
point. But
It hasn't come back. That was a better
so
part
weird.
too.
It's all weird.
This is just right. I mean, I think this book's a fucking mess. Excuse my French. New Year's, still the same old shit.
There's
There's
Jedi's
the-
favorite new character right here.
So
Like
now now we're asking for more elephants. We got Zizor coming back. Now we got little kid elephants.
Big show. This is awesome.
It gets worse. So there's a little kid panhandling. So this is the shitty part about this book. Just like you just explained about what's her name coming back. There's parts of this book where you're like, oh, so you can do good stories. You just choose to do shit. You know, it's like when people tell a joke and it's not funny, it doesn't hit, and they call it Dane cooking, and they repetitively just pound it into the ground, hoping they'll eventually get a laugh. It's like, oh, well, you could be more creative and do funny shit. But since people didn't like what you did, you kept continuing with it. Because this right here is actually pretty good. When he was part of the wills, he's chasing them down. Another kid kicks him in the back. The robot thing that he eventually has later poops in his face. The pace of this was really good. Then we got a prune face over here guy. We got a squirrel mole now. That's a fucking, like, how many fucking animal alien species do we fucking need, dude?
It's
Like,
half
is it
world.
this? What?
It's half world.
It is half world. Absolutely. Where Rocket Raccoon came from. That's what's going on now. So we got Elephant Boy and that shit too. It just is a fucking mess.
So, can I ask, what adult comics has Kevin done that you've been like, Kevin's done a good job?
Technically, I liked some of his novels works. And then I really
No,
did
his
like
novels are great. Comics, just comics.
none.
None.
because the ones that I like were technically not adult because they were all the Halloween special ones.
The Halloween special stuff is good. He had some of the adventure stuff that I thought was fine.
Yeah, adventure stuff was good too. Yeah, he did some great writing. So the answer is none.
And I
And
wonder
actually-
if that's part of the problem. He can write novels. He can write good kids comics, but his adult comic
Shadow
stuff
Service
has been
ain't bad.
underwhelming.
You read Vault. I mean, it's not Star Wars related, but
Yeah. No, we're saying in Star Wars. I think that's a valid point, Wayseeker. I never thought about it like that, but that's a What have we been defending him because he is very good at genre writing certain areas of it, and we just figure, wow, that would be something to look into. Maybe you're right. I didn't think
you
about
guys
that.
can think it through. I like him though.
No, I mean
I love him I'm glad he's in Star Wars. I think he's great.
he likes it because he did an interview with him one time.
Yeah,
Stop
he's a
blowing.
nice
Him.
guy.
I'm not saying that either. I think he's humorous and whatever. I'm just saying I think Wayseeker's right, and this is going to play into something a little bit later on too. I'm not quite sure that Marvel wouldn't be if they. Unfortunately, they just had a reset with their Star Wars properties, but I'm not sure that if they shouldn't have another reset, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But now that you said this about this, now that you said about this, Wayseeker, I think you might be right because there's another book down the line where I'm going to be like, this book should be in fucking IDW or Dark Horse's care, and absolutely should be. And either way,
yeah, we'll talk about it later.
Did
we'll talk about it later.
Don't forget the Drengir also was it took 6
That
issues where
sucked.
regular High Republic found its stride. So maybe
Right.
they're just
Yeah.
following that formula.
No, yeah, I agree. Go ahead, wait, Jedi.
Did anybody else notice? And I don't know if you captured it here in the pages that you selected, that Maddie's the Laku,
Yeah,
how big and long they are.
they are right there in that picture by the mouse person. If you can blow it up,
Yeah,
it goes all the way down
I'm just
past
thinking
her pelvic region. For those
Yeah.
that
she must be really popular with the guys. That's all I'm saying. Is these things are huge.
Come on.
God.
if she had a kakan, it would probably go that far down to yes. Agreed. It's almost to her kneecap, so if she had a kakan, it would be right there with mine.
I noticed.
You
Word
guys have a good
salad.
point.
Who hit word salad?
I did
know.
because you guys are just talking about pelvic.
No,
area.
he's got. Well, I mean, where else do you want?
Yeah, I think I didn't notice that, Jedi. Yeah.
I didn't notice
Oh,
it
I
either
noticed.
because
I
yeah,
noticed.
apparently
they were
I'm
big.
quite aware of what you know. Don notices reach arounds in comics, and you notice big lichens. So all right, there we
they
go.
were big.
Jesus. No, it is not. It's not John.
I
No,
was hitting it too.
it's not Martian Manhunter. That is Sizor. That Jesus Christ.
It's not Zizor.
It's not Sizor either.
It's from the Black Sun organization.
Yeah, but
No, it's not a
close
black
to
star.
Xyzor.
It's just a species called
Species.
feline. It's not a.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the
big one.
Felines.
I thought it was
It's
like
just like
different
that.
sizes or something.
No, but what Dom is saying is they're most popularly known because a lot of Felines were in the Black Sun organization.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
So,
we're also seeing a feline Jedi, if I remember right, in one of the.
well,
books.
we saw a Force user because this is one of them, supposedly. But I might have profiled him because I thought later on, and we'll get to some of those panels, but we'll talk about it later. So he's kind of like the master to Tay here, and Tay's like, "Hey, dude, like these kids are out there and they're ripping off old people, and they say that this guy is gonna like beat the shit out of them if they don't pay him, if they don't steal enough for him and stuff like that, right?"
Is this one creature is this the same species as Maz? Because it kind of looks like it, only a
No.
lot taller.
No,
Yeah.
Prune Face isn't. It's like no.
Okay.
Well, is the purple dude a Drizzt from Forgotten Realms? Because he looks like a dark elf.
Tay, no. Also, no. We've reviewed. This is the third High Republic book. This is the third time he said he showed up. This is
He
the
still
third.
looks like a dark elf.
This
He
is
still
the
looks like
third time you've said that. So no. Actually, I think you've also said it in the preview. So I think we're either at 4 or 5 times. But thank you, Pete, for your contribution.
Untrue.
happy to help.
Appreciate it. But yeah, no, I think Maddie probably is the outliner. But then Tay's actually really getting his stride in here because he's kind of like, "Hey, dude, we got to do the right thing." And the master says, "No, we don't. We don't do anything besides guard the temple." Then angry Jedi gets in there and just starts. I don't know why anybody listens to this clown. Done with that. Prune Face. Done with him too. They go
I
back.
have an AOA's comment, but I don't want to put it up.
They go back to the flashback, which I thought was the best part of this book. And this time you see him throwing a fruit into the little 80-year-old elf kid or elephant kid's face. He's like, don't do that, blah, blah, blah. He runs and they run into the big baddie, the guy that's the criminal boss of the Understreet. I can't remember what this dude's name is. Does anybody
You guys
remember
got to
his name?
clarify because now you're confusing
I don't
John.
remember
It's
his
not
name.
actually Zizor.
It was not Zizor.
No, it's a joke because
Because
Dom
loves
said
Zizor.
Dom loves Zizor, and every time he sees one of
You know,
them, he says it's
Zizor was
Zizor.
mentioned in
Oh,
Crimson
shit.
Empire. They didn't. You gotta,
Yeah, right.
was.
So then every time he sees one of the species, he says, "Oh, I think Zizor's coming." Which
Yeah, what are they? Wayseeker?
Faline.
Feline.
Okay.
Do we remember what the big guy's name is that looks
No,
like
I
a
don't remember his
mutant?
name.
That looks like the
remember his
mutant
name.
abomination guy. I can't remember what it was. Or Glob. Isn't it Globe? Isn't that Glob? Was what the name of the X-Men was?
Jedi, you remember?
Oh, the X-Men guy. Yeah.
No.
No. Okay.
I have a comment about him, but I'll wait till the next panel.
Please
because-
do. So then all of a sudden he comes up. He's like, "Hey, you can't chase my guys. Get back to the temple boy." And then we can't cut every single panel because then we'd be in violation of copyright. So just so you know, Jedi. So I don't know if this is where you want to see it or later, but
Nope. No,
Okay.
after this, I think.
So then all of a sudden he gets the bloody bulb thing, the droid to come after him. He's like, "What happened to the kids that I hated but I loved?" And he goes to find them in a hole, and they're all dead. So this is
Jedi
a
was
nice
happy. Elephant boy died. He was like, yes.
So how did Sizor guy just happen to show up there? That's
what I thought. Good question, sir. I think it's a play. I think this is the one part that, like, if they didn't do so poorly on like half the book, it'd be really cool because I think that the temple might be in on it, right? You think that guy at least is in on it?
Seems like something was weird there, definitely, because he just shows up. You're like,
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, I just heard something. I was coming around," and he's like, "Da da da da." He's like, "Well, they're not all dead. That one's alive," and da da da. And he's like, "Yeah, this one's dead for sure." He's like, "Pick up dead bodies."
No, look, he's moving. Hello. That's fine.
Okay,
I think this guy's in on it. I think
yeah,
this Guardians might be a little sketchy in general.
he might actually start. Dom might be onto something. He might start leading the black.
Never trust a Feline.
Yeah. So there you go.
Here-
What?
They're trying to tell us that this might be the originator of the Black Sun.
Yes, I'm saying that's it. Zizor. I'm gonna give it down one. Come on. It's a
Zizor.
new year. There you
Right
go.
there, John, that's why it's important, right there. You
Great,
know,
great,
there
great
you go.
grandpa.
Right there. All right. So then we get Glub running around, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Hey, get me out of here! I can't even get into bars anymore." See, that's why this is the conversation. At first, I thought what you said, Jedi. He kind of gave a okay excuse, but then when this guy's like, "I was trying to go to the bar, they wouldn't even give me drinks. I can't believe any of this." Then I was like, "Oh no, Prince Zizor's in on this one. Like he's got it going on." And then all of a sudden he gets the kung fu side back kick to the dome.
Breaks, shatters.
Yeah.
yeah. So this was the point I was going to make earlier. So I'm glad you put the panel up there.
Hmm.
I think that if I was some sort of like fish or water breathing creature, that I would have a little. I wouldn't be walking around with a glass bowl on my head. It would be
Crime
like
lord, too.
plexiglass.
Yeah.
It would be something that could withstand a kick without shattering and killing me.
Well,
They should
Well,
laser
dude's wearing
bolts.
a raggedy old poncho. He probably doesn't have a lot of options.
but see, I think this is why it's playing into your theory
I would use
that that not Prince Sizor is actually a bad guy, because when you have that guy backing you in charge, you don't really have to have. You're not really, you're not the big bad, right?
Mysterio.
So yeah, I do like the it too here. Like, "Oh, I'm gonna save you. Oops, too late. Oops, too late." Guy dies. Then angry Jedi just for some reason jumps in and is like, "Hey, there's a bomb there.
Oh, this is stuck in
Black
my
hole sun, won't you come?"
Thanks, Steve.
And then throws it out the door. This Mac Mac character is
Bildar
fucking
Mac,
trash.
right? That's his name, Bildar.
Yeah, Billboard Mac. He's just trash. He's just a
Yeah.
trash character.
It's bad.
If you thought the Dangier was trash, well, hey, he's right up there with him.
But
So,
like, Tay's interesting.
yeah,
I
they
Tay.
just made Tay, but the first couple Tay wasn't interesting.
No,
they
Tay
made him
wasn't. This
interesting.
one made Tay interesting.
They just made Tay interesting. Maddie's always been somewhat like, I mean, she's what you, I guess now that Jedi's got a fetish for her, like she's more interesting, I guess. But
Yeah,
hey,
she's one of my
Dwayne Scott,
favorites.
Happy New Year.
But you also missed like where Tay said there was a artifact that was stolen. They're like, no, nothing ever gets stolen here, and then they came and they saw it. So it's also
Yeah.
like, are the Guardians of the? Is this guy behind the artifact being stolen too? Like, because they're like nobody could do it. It had to be an inside job for this thing to get stolen. So now we have to wonder if that
Well, it was back in this panel right here where it's like small and they were talking back and forth.
is the
And there's
following
this is
person
building
how
on your
it got
originator
stolen.
of
Is
the
working.
Black
Is he
Sun.
working with the path now of the open hand? So
yes. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Which
a
one
bad Jedi, whatever his name is.
Taking artifacts out the back door.
All right, Dr. F
Well, I
had a
mean-
bunch of
No,
greatest comic of the week right here.
Go ahead. Oh, Jesus. No, it wasn't.
no,
All right,
I
so
was just going to say he's not a good Jedi. I mean, for part of me thinking that he's holding a grudge against Tay because he kind of kicked his butt in a previous issue, but that's not the Jedi way. So he's just not a good Jedi.
You are not a good Jedi.
no.
You are a very
No.
bad Jedi.
Not
No,
at all.
yeah. He does not seem like it's I don't know what the fuck ever. I mean, I really just, once again, maybe that's it too. I mean, now Wayseeker's put this in my head. I have to, they're not always home runs, right? And I think Kevin Scott now is 2 times in a row fallen into, maybe he thought he would, like maybe he just misunderstood. He didn't get the assignment, and I don't think. I mean, unfortunately,
Well,
no.
we'll let it play out. Who knows?
Interview with a P. Like I get it. I get it.
He's playing like unflashy baseball. He's moving the runner along. That's all.
No.
It's not exciting to watch, but he's moving the runner along.
Maybe down the road, this guy lips off, he mouths off to the blade, and the blade takes him out, and that's where everything just kind of.
I kind of think right now would be the time for that to happen, though. That
But
would be
it's not going to happen. He almost died once. They're not going to kill him. He's
Yeah,
gonna be
they-
around
okay.
the whole time.
So I don't know what everybody thought about this. It was a 50-50. It was like it really did great with character developing on a couple characters. It really dropped the ball on the other ones. There were some mysteries there that I think if they flush them out will be good. Fuck, it's tough to read. Some of it's just tough to read. It's an exercise.
That's what
It's
I give it.
yeah, it's an exercise to get the stuff reading. So Jedi, is that what your thought process on it, or do you just not care and you thought it was all around a great book?
I'm going to let it unfold. I'm not going to be too quick to make any. I mean, as far as this character right now, which is what kind of bugs me that he's just not your typical Jedi. He doesn't have the right demeanor and, personality. That kind of bugs me a little bit. But I'm going to let it play out.
Don't do that, Wayseeker. I know what you guys are doing because this is probably Wayseeker's fake account. Thank you, Jedi, for that comment. I also want to know, hey, Jedi, do you just sit on the porch in a rocking chair every once in a while, drinking like a warmed up, like almost like a cinnamon apple type mixture with a little schnapps in it,
No, it's too hot for that. He's drinking like sweet tea.
or
Why the
sweet
hell would I
tea?
do that. I
Well,
like
it
that
just
conditioning. I don't know.
It's like I just like to see this unfold, and we'll get to it. I like it. It's a refreshing opinion. Okay, Dr. Aphra. They should change the title of this book because it had shit to do with Dr. Aphra this week. However, this is going to make Wayseeker very happy because they gave him a character that we really don't give a fuck about named Sansa. So here we go.
So you had
Santa.
to pick the crappy ass Attack of the
Santa.
Clones cover too.
Care what
no
fucking
other
is.
S in there. And there's
There
not
was a very
yeah,
extended
Santa,
locker room scene in here.
Santa,
There
Oh, wow.
was.
Santa.
I like the fact that the
Yeah, that's all it was. So it really was like them walking around in their underwear for a very long time.
Why the hell's that dude dressed like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man?
Okay, so it's a bunch of lesbians
Why do you have that, Pete?
coming
Because
out
I
of
have
it. Coming out of a hot tub with a dude named Get Lucky. And then all of a sudden, one of the tags,
Just
one?
lucky. Just lucky.
nah, it's called Get Lucky. It's called Get Lucky. Thank you for stepping on another one of my jokes. Good stuff.
I'm
so-
going to because you can't. Your jokes don't hit when you can't pronounce names right ever.
That's part of the joke. Oh, my God.
Oh, he's
All
trying
right,
to
so
be
besides
hilarious.
going over Seeker's head today, then
All
Ronan
over
from
people's heads though with that. Too many layers.
it wasn't too many layers. I'm sorry if you can't foul. It's just I think it's this group that's too many layers. Anyway, so Ronan, for those people that don't know who the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man is, he's Ronan Tag, part of the Tag family. He's the one that was with Dr. Aphra, put on the rings, blew himself up, tried to overthrow his sister, who's the most powerful person in the corporation. He has got these special Bacca tanks. That's what the hot tubs that all the young ladies.
He's a sassy.
he's a sassy
He is. He is. Yeah. See, this book fucking was horrible.
It's not horrible. You just don't like it.
It's fucking
Come
horrible.
on.
So then, for 8 pages, he goes, "Hey, look, I healed you all. It's gonna cost you $1 million. You guys just got to work for me now. I'll leave alone and let you guys decide." And then for another 6 pages, they're like, yeah, should we? No, should we? Should we? Okay, we're going to. But that wasn't the deal we made. But I tried to make the deal with the strongest person. Well, the strongest person's his
Oh,
sister.
you cut 3 pages because you don't like this could become. But it was so
This-
good. They had lots of effort stuff in here.
No, time out. Let's count how many fucking pages I've given you. 3, 6, 9. All the same shit.
Those are not pages. Those are. Oh my.
No, these are pages. These are all
You
the
didn't
panels
get
on
any of
page.
the Afro stuff. We're like
Because there's no Afro stuff. There's no fucking Afro stuff. Time out. There's no Afro stuff yet. This is all the shit.
stuff in here. You just didn't include it.
Then we get the Afro stuff. Let's count how many panels there are of Afro stuff.
Marco's doing that thing where he's not doing it in the order of the comic. He's doing it
Yeah.
in the order of the
He's
story.
of the
Chunking it into
storyline,
stories.
so that it doesn't confuse people. So now we're gonna do the Afro part. Do you want to go back and talk about how great this portion of the comic was?
Well, I do have a question about that guy. Are those
Please do.
scars on his face, or do they?
Yeah.
Do they? Because I keep wanting. I don't know. Maybe it's just the way I'm wired, but I keep looking at. I want to know if they draw the scars the same way every time, or if it's like
Not really, but it's pretty
type thing
close.
where, like,
It is.
goes around.
Is he
So-
like Voss from freaking Star Wars?
No.
Is it,
No.
Han Solo? No.
So remember how I said he had these rings on and he got all fucked up and they had to like bring him back?
See a big IC.
And that's why he has the special back to tanks, right? Because he's
Yeah.
like severely burned.
Yeah. Like he almost died and shit like that, and they had to bring him back. He was like possessed by some shit too. It's all in the earlier Afro stuff. Who is that? Me or is that somebody else? Just must be me. Okay.
And I am hearing a little bit. I'm hearing echo too, but
So, anyways, so that we got him. She ends up saying no because she says the best deal is actually with your sister because she actually owns the company. So I'd rather not backstab her. I'd rather backstab you. We're gonna do this real
Until-
quickly. What's that?
I was going to say until he found out who
Found it.
was backing him. Yeah.
Yeah, till he found out who was backing him. All right, so then we get the Afra stuff. The droids are there. The Eternal still has Afra. We get the yeah, we're gonna do stuff. They fall in a hole. We get 6 panels of this. It turns out Afra's like, hey, I actually put in a virus type thing and a safe thing with the droids and with my tattoos. I could take pretty much at least ruin you or take my body back. She goes, oh, you can have your body back because now you got to go fight Darth Vader. And that's all on Dr. Afra and Dr. Afra. They did give us 2 other pages that fucking had
nope, not you, Double O.
yeah, no, not Dub. They also had 2 other pages that really serve fucking zero purpose in this book. So I didn't add them in. Anybody else want
But
to add
now
on to
Afra
that?
does have control of her body back.
Yes, but the Eternal's still in there, and she technically the Eternal can kind of come back, kind of.
Right.
So
They're working together right now. So
yeah, they're kind of almost working together.
You know, look. I know Pete doesn't like the fact you want to know what's going to happen down the road, but the fact is that how much further can this storyline really hold up? You know what I'm saying? It's getting to a point where it's
I'm sick of this storyline.
I think they're going to take a pause from Afra.
Yeah.
I mean, I was actually going to ask that. Thank you for leading into that, Dom, because I was actually going to ask that afterwards. I think they really are. I mean, I don't know what Wayseeker's opinion. I think maybe he's too. I mean, apparently we found his fetish. He likes lesbians in gym shorts and tops, but he's but
Listen, you're
Done.
corrupting
That's
this
all.
poor
Done.
guy. man.
they hang out in hot
Good
tubs. So
word.
there we go.
He preaches a good word, and we corrupt him every time he comes on this show.
We got him. So, but yeah, I mean, I think that's like why it's been heavy, why they've kind of been shading it off. It looks like they don't really have a direction for Afra today. A lot of the stuff that Sansa even is doing or was saying at that point, where if you've read Afra from the beginning, are very similar notes to Dr. Afra. She will trade out whoever she can to watch out for herself and go with whoever the biggest enemy is. Like it's almost a lot of the lines there were reminiscent of the lines you saw in Dr. Afra before. So I know that you know they're doing a Sansa like storyline break off thing, but it does seem, or what, Sana or whatever. But it does seem like they might be taking a break from Afra. Did anybody else get? I mean, obviously Dom got that feeling.
nope.
That's because you don't want to admit that sucks. And all they're doing is just kind of redoing that.
It doesn't make
Um,
sense to me. It doesn't make sense that they're going to. They just announced in Omnibus, right?
That doesn't matter.
That is issues 1 through 25.
What happened to Dom? Yeah, I get that, but that actually is kind of an indicator that they might take a break.
But then
Because
you
if-
have all these other issues that aren't going to be in the Omnibus.
they'll do another. Yeah, but when they need
There's
another
been
thing,
5 issues that aren't in the omnibus.
because then what they're going to do is be able to sell it out and then add it on. Yes, that's what
Yeah,
they'll
because
do.
what they'll do is they'll have another
In the
6-issue
storyline, they'll
trade
put in the, yeah, and then they'll put in the
sell
Crimson
you another
storyline,
omnibus
Omnibus, yeah.
with all 30 or
That's what they'll
31
do.
issues all together.
Like all these signs are pointing towards, oh shit, they might be taking hiatus. So, but we'll see. Maybe not.
They could do a saga pause too. They may not renumber with a new number 1. They might just
No, yeah. Take a pause.
time out.
The one book that if you didn't read this, good on you. If you did read this, I don't know what to tell you. Apparently, Jedi didn't read it. Apparently, Wayseeker didn't read it.
It looked like Tarkin was holding a bag there. Like, whose is this? I found this in your locker.
That's the thing that Han's looking for now. What's the deal with Afra's tattoos? So technically, they're like they're graphs that are cybernetics, and she can use them to hack into stuff, talk to computers. It's a whole bunch of other stuff. Actually, Tag Technology, the sister, the one that Sans said, "Oh well, she runs everything." I'm gonna go with her. By the way, Sans did say at the end that she's going to go with the Crimson Dawn, but Tag, she actually gave Afra new versions of that are really expensive. So that's kind of how it works. It's kind of like a master computer in her arms that can hack stuff.
Where did Dom go? Too.
I don't know. He fell off. Yeah,
we lost Dom, man. Well, and the other two decided to take a timeout.
Timeout. Yep. So here we go. We're getting into. So I think it's because this is that bad of a book.
I did not read this one. I did not even touch this one. I looked at the.
So cover. I was actually told everybody they didn't, but now I kind of think I need help because this lady's name is Fefadine or Fefadinia or Fefa, who gives a fuck. And she actually kind of helps save Han and Chewbacca from the Lost Island. So now she's like, hey, cool. I've got an idea on how to get your, they end up beating the shit out of Greedo and getting his shit back. And they're like, by the way, I'm going to also help you get back this artifact that you need that you can sell, because she kind of works with the Hutts and he has to get it back to sell to the Hutts. So
what was Bane's apprentice?
Darth Baines?
His apprentice, Zana or something?
Yeah, Xana.
The face paint, it reminds me of that. That's what else.
Oh, maybe a little bit, yeah. It also reminded me of somebody in the X-Men's universe, but that's all right. So anyways, at the
a little bit of Blink.
Yeah. At the same time, the bounty hunter Buck Vangto finds the guy who is not, contrary to a lot of people's trying to sell you this horseshit comic book, originally, that is not Han Solo's dad. But he captures him, and the guy says, hey, I was going to help you with Solo. He goes, but you didn't. You backstabbed me. Plus, Solo's dead. He's like, Solo's not dead. Who the fuck? Yeah, we all knew Solo wasn't fucking dead.
Oh, this thing, too. Yeah.
Oh, I was looking at this thing. In the meantime, part of the plan, which made absolutely no fucking sense, is that Fida Dira girl somehow gets into a robot. She somehow is in a fucking robot. Like the human being, like what's the dude that played fucking C-3PO?
What? Anthony
Daniels?
She's McDanielsing this fucking Imperial information robot. And she walks into Tarkin's office because that's where the shit is, that Han's thing that he needs to grab. He goes, hey, I got a special message for you. And he's like, robots don't give us special messages, because he's got all these Dark Troopers. And she's like, yeah, but I do. And then whispers something into his ear. In the meantime, she sends Han Solo and Chewie into the shit underground, and all that fur, Chewbacca fur, has got feces and waste on it. So that's awesome. Then she says to them, hey, real quickly, I got some friends coming in. Where's the closest bathroom? That's what the robot says. It like talks regularly, which this fucking makes no sense.
Why does the robot need the bathroom?
Yeah, I'll tell you why in a minute. So this is what she did whisper. She said the Emperor requires your immediate presence because he believes that Mass Amda, the guy with the big blue guy that sits on his shoulder all the time.
The Pate.
Yeah, is conspiring to kill you. It makes Tarkin look fucking stupid, like he's a moron. Because he's like, yeah, I think that might happen, so I got to go talk to him.
If you go back to that panel, it looks like the robot's stupid because he's whispering behind his head.
That's her. This is this girl.
Okay,
this girl
is. She's not whispering into his ear. She's whispering behind his head.
I know. It's all stupid. This book is all stupid. And then, as I said, we get a bunch of panels where we change our gunfire back to pew, pew, pew. She was asking where the bathroom was because they were coming in through the sewers. So, like, Chewbacca's got a bunch of shit on his legs now. Awesome. And then they just walk
All
in.
that fur, how do you avoid it?
Chewbacca and Han Solo kill 42 Death Troopers with a bowcaster and a gun. Yep, that makes sense. All right. And then we get a lot more pew 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 pews. Pew 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 pew
They
pew
finally
pew.
hits his shoulder and he falls. Nice.
Wow.
Okay, so that's the end of that book. Thank God. Fucking thank God. That book is horrible.
Well, listen, I was rudely interrupted by the internet problems.
Sorry, Dumb.
The Dr. Afra. Real quick, I'm sorry.
Oh, you want to go back to that?
No,
And
I
the
want to
Nazi
say
plot
that.
device. Okay,
I
sure.
think
We can go back to that.
what Marco was talking about that they're going to reset. I think they're going to. I think maybe after issue 30. I don't think there's anything after 30. They might shut it down for a minute.
Fair enough.
I can see that.
Okay.
Possible.
Yeah, I'm glad. Marv, good. Thank you for all those people. That is one of the reasons why we do that. Oh, 42, not 41, not 43, but just 42. Yeah. I'm glad. This is some of the reasons why we do these comic reviews, are so that we can save you your money and save your time for reading horseshit. Okay, Yoda. I actually like this. I fuck y'all. I like this cover. I think this is the best one, so I chose it.
But
I
then
know
he
you-
pooped his pants, Sticks.
He didn't wear fishing waders. If you saw that, we can go. I don't want to go back to it, but if you actually look at the thing, it's like it's all wet and gooey, and like they make a joke
Well,
about
he wants
it
to keep his
stinking.
hair dry.
Yeah,
Yes.
whatever. It clumped up. It's gross. We get Yoda. They're going back to talking to Master. Nobody gives a shit about. And Master, what is the other one? Tom, you like the one with the
Vader.
nickname? Huh?
Yeah.
Vader.
Mole face or whatever. You like that guy. Either way,
Yeah.
we go back to the planet where all these like purple people were, the Avatar folks, and they're like, "Oh man, Yoda's been gone for a while. Where is he? Oh, here he comes back on his little trip." And he's like, "Hey, oh, first off, he tells these people like, I need to go back to that place." Oh, he starts playing that little. They're like, "Oh, Yoda, whatever." He starts playing that stupid little thing and annoys them and makes sounds, and they're like, "Oh."
I thought that was pretty funny.
I did too. I agree. He was definitely being a dick. Yoda was being 100% a dick because they're like, "Yoda, you should spend more time here because it's really." And he's just like in the middle of it. And they're like big speech and talk. He's like, "I got this new instrument I'm trying here. Listen to it. I know it sounds terrible." And like they're like, "Yeah, it's great." He's like, "Yeah."
But you know what's funny? I
It's
actually
horrible.
like that because it gives kind of Yoda's humor because
He
like
does.
the Empire Strikes Back. when,
Yes,
he was like acting. So I like that.
I agree. This is a book when we finished. We're gonna have a lot of chats about this book. That was one of the points. That was one of the points I was gonna bring up. But he goes back
Yoda's a prankster.
to Avatar country, and then he starts to teach them all how to fight with sticks. And does a 7 almost samurai thing. In the meantime, the two Jedi masters are poo-pooing again, going like, "I think he's just avoiding us, da 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 da, whatever." And then they say that he might have fallen in love with the people or the mission or whatever. Which, by the way, in the High Republic, you've got just fucking Jedi everywhere doing whatever the fuck they want. I don't think it's because of Yoda. I think it's because you're a bad council, but that's neither here nor there.
Yoda goes off and does whatever he wants for the High Republic too. We still
Yeah.
don't even know in phase 1 he like is gone.
Yeah.
He comes back at the very end, but we don't know what he does. So it's kind of the habit of like
Yeah, it's a habit of
do
his.
whatever
He
he
goes
wants.
out. He feels that no time out. He kind of says it before. He feels the Force, and the Force takes him to special projects, which is, I guess that's what I'm.
But the council didn't even know where he was in the High Republic one.
Yeah, but the Council is spending. Yeah, but the Council is spending more time. This is the High Republic still. The
But
Council is.
I mean, in phase 1, like
Yeah.
when he disappeared.
Agreed. Okay.
So he has a habit of this.
Yeah. Agreed. So all of a sudden, like one of the guys is beating up the other guy, and then he's like, "Give me that back!" And then they get attacked by the red pirate people again. He grabs this little thing, and it makes a noise. It's a button that makes a noise, and the noise kind of annoys the bad guys. So then they can kick the crap out of them with sticks, and then they go running. But they somehow stole Yoda in the meantime.
I love the fat alien with the bandana on the head.
That guy that's talk crap and like he's like, "Oh, he never uses." Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very well written. He's like, "Yeah, Yoda never uses that lightsaber. He doesn't really want to help us." And the little kid's like, "He's trained us for all this stuff." Oh, hey, cool. Let me check it out. I'm underselling this comment because I want people to buy it and read it because I thought it was really good. Okay, so as much as I'm burning on for you guys not to read that one, this one I'm not going to give you the play-by-play on all of it. They do end up going to this castle base of the pirates where they have Yoda captured. Big surprise. But is he captured? I mean, they placate it. It's very easy. This book is very easy to read. Very smooth. There's no huge surprises. It's has that Star Wars feel to it, the familiarity. But this is kind of funny. They did like the gargoyle poses at one point, which I thought was fucking cool. I mean, I thought it was cool. And then they're like, "Hey, Yoda, come on, let's get out of here." And he's like, "No, I'm here for a reason. There's all these kids that are slaves." And the youngest kid's like, "Fuck that. Give me your lightsaber. I'm stabbing this dude." And Yoda's like, "Do not do it. Don't do it." And he does it anyways. So read this book. It's very good. There's a lot more to it.
So I have a
Go ahead.
question here.
Yeah, go ahead.
The kids of the pirates, these are the pirates' kids that are being captive, and they look a lot like the Avatar people.
The Avatar people, yes.
So are these pirates like the Avatar
Jacking 'em up.
people that have been like morphed or something? I don't know.
I think so. I think we're going to get into that. I think that's what's going to happen. And I think it's kind of a cool scenario or situation where it looks like they are kidnapping their own kids and then keeping them in these areas and then probably injecting them with superhuman's serum or super alien serum.
Like probably doing tests on them. Like
on their own kids too. That's
crazy.
Yeah, kind of fucked up. But also like there's the whole he kills somebody and Yoda's like, "Do not kill him." But what I was going to ask more, sorry, before we get into the next part, what I was going to ask more was, and this is kind of what we're saying. Okay, we got the Cavan Scott book. We kind of talked about that. We talked about the first book and kind of where it sits and maybe some of the things they could have improved. This is kind of where the reset goes. Like, should Cavan Scott move maybe away to Dark Horse situation, and could they have saved IDW? And pretty much this book is an all readers book, and it is very good so far. Between 1 and 2, I would say that they are exceptionally well. The Blade, I think, is an excellent addition to Marvel and should have sat there. But we just kind of had a reset. Did they just fumble the ball on the fucking reset? Because when you're thinking about the Dark Horse stuff that's come out, it's pretty horse shitty, just like IDW was. And this, and maybe even the High Republic main title kind of looks like it might sit in that like all age reader. So either Marvel should start doing an all age reader and just leave adventures towards Dark Horse or IDW. I mean, did you guys get that feeling from this, or am I out there on my own on what they should be doing here? Like, is that part of the problem? Because I have to. That's awesome. I have to say there definitely is a problem with the Star Wars product right now in comics. Correct? Can we all agree on that? There is a problem with the product. Yes.
Not
You
all
liked,
of it.
you
right?
liked High Republic Adventures #1.
I did. I agree. It's great where it is at Dark Horse, but we're still coming out every week. It seems like we're going, holy shit! Some of these books are shit, or some of them, like the Cavan Scott book. I was kind of like it's crap. But then when Wayseeker said, "Hey, put it in the mindset of an all reader or like a kid's book," I'm like, "Yeah, dude, that's right." And same thing with Yoda. I think Yoda's okay, but I think when some people pick up Yoda, they expect, what we saw out of the Blade, and you're getting like a middle-aged, easy reading. Like they got gargoyle things here. They have a very Star Wars simpleton not in a bad way. I'm not saying simpleton in a bad way, but I'm saying like general
Yoda's
simple.
not an edgy character. He's
Well, what the funny thing is that Star Wars was always done for kids, and that's what they talk about. So
That's not
most of the
true.
time- but that was what George Lucas said. It was for kids.
George Lucas is full shit.
But anyway, if you notice, they have a lot of kids. A lot of the books they talk about when they're like really young, or they have kids that are actually the main antagonists or the ones that are needing to be helped, this and that. But a majority of the books is about the kids in the stories. So, like Yoda,
Slave Leia is for the kids.
well,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, no, that's the story. I said it for me when I was a 13-year-old kid, but that's okay. No, I'm saying that Yoda has always have gone to planets where there's young kids.
what are you
like-
trying to say about Yoda?
What
No,
are
no,
you
I'm saying-
saying,
no.
Dom?
I'm just
Yoda's
saying-
trying to get to Marco with Catherine.
Is he
no,
Jimmy
Yoda-
Savile all of a sudden?
No, remember the story that Yoda went to the planet with the rocks were like the living force, and there was kids in that planet in the Star Wars series, the regular Star Wars series.
Yeah.
When he was telling Luke about the other journals, Yoda had the journals and stuff like that about what he. This has something similar to that story. If you think about it, the kids that were in that book, it kind of the way they.
Joe.
they make,
I don't know where you're going with this, Dom, but
no,
remember,
I'm just saying, but you could say that the stories are all about young kids in.
Well,
the
I think
story.
that's more of the writers are deciding to just rehash the same similar ideas or
So-
themes for Yoda, more
I'm
so
gonna-
than Yoda has a predilection of any kind.
I'm going to bypass what Dom just said because I don't understand it and go back
I
to
didn't
Marcus'
understand.
question.
it.
What?
If somebody else understands Dom's question, then they can. I think Kevin is really good at writing to all ages,
Mhm.
and I don't think he's really good at writing to adults. Would Kevin make more sense over at Dark Horse? Yes, I think so.
What
I
I'm
think
saying,
this book would make more sense at Dark Horse because it is a really good book and it is a all reader. I think that's absolutely right.
what I'm saying is, if we do these two things, if we move those two off, does the consolidation that we're kind of asking for, does it make a difference? Because I think it does. I think it's not like, sure, there's titles we dislike, but I think if we move some titles here and some titles there, then it doesn't seem so overbearing. When it looks like Marvel dropped 5 titles this week, and you're like, okay, but what if it was like Marvel dropped 2 titles this week, and then we got 2 titles over at Dark Horse, and they got fucking rid of Han Solo and whatever shit that was.
I mean, that's absolutely needs to go. That needs to go. The other Dark Horse book needs to go. Whatever. I can't. Hyperspace Stories.
Hyperdrive.
Got it.
You're done defending that piece of shit, huh?
I've always hated that book. I'm the only one that reviewed it.
The fucking book on
Somebody's
that
got to
shit.
say something good about
Okay,
it.
fair
in
enough.
the
Fair enough.
panel.
Oh, you know, I didn't do that with
Yeah,
Han's my favorite character. I tore that shit apart.
I get that, but somebody has to have something to say about it. I come up with a doll. Like the doll is the most interesting part of that story. Anyway, well, that book is bad. Han Solo is bad. No, I would love to see them move a few.
Yes, the pink weirdo died.
Yeah.
But I think that what if they just did TPBs? Maybe out of the Solo series, that would be nice. But I think that's the problem. I think the problem with I think we're kind of unbreaking what the problem with Star Wars is. Instead of always just saying like, "Oh, this sucks" or "That sucks." If you know me long enough, I'm always kind of giving it like yeah, it sucks, but like let's figure something out. I think the core problem here with Star Wars, and I'm very susceptible to this, is like, I know this doesn't feel good, but what the fuck is wrong with it? Like, let's fix it. And I think the fix might really be, dude, just put these things where they belong. Like, this shit does not belong
that
in
really
Marvel.
is going to make much of a difference. Like, just
I
because
do.
you change the
I do.
publisher, is that really going to change the output?
I
Like, you're
do.
still getting the
I
same
do
exact
because
book.
of 2 things. One, we wouldn't have hyperspace fucking stories because Dark
We're
Horse
not
can't.
talking about hyperspace. We're leaving hyperspace out for now.
No, we're not. No, because their lineup now becomes Star Wars Adventures, which is actually good.
Well, that's what all I'm saying is who cares about who's publishing it, and we're talking about just the content.
Right. But right now, Dark Horse has no content. Their
That's
content
their
is.
fault. That's what I'm saying.
No,
But that's-
not under their contract. No, not under their contract. It isn't. Marvel lets them. They give them a outline of what there should be. So if you actually allow them to have this type of stuff, now all of a sudden they do produce either Yoda or both High Republic books. You get all the knockoffs, and it turns out to be.
Are you saying that Marvel subcontracted certain comics to?
That was their deal with IDW.
Yeah.
That's
they basically
100%.
did the all ages
They-
stuff.
yeah,
over
they
and
did
over.
the whole
Because
same thing with Dark
still
Horse.
So Marvel still has control over it. It's just
Oh, yes.
they subcontracted
Yep.
it to another
Yeah,
company.
it's just like
Right.
IDW
I
had
never
all those
looked at it that
Marvel
way, I'll
action
be
honest, I
stories
never
and
looked at
It's
that
whatnot.
different than back in the day when Dark Horse had exclusive rights.
Yeah.
This
Yeah, they
is how
subcontracted.
Marvel
Yeah.
has rights, and they are just giving Dark Horse the ability to do these comics.
Sorry if I was confusing. I mean, that's what I probably should have stated it with that. But that's what I'm saying. I think if they now, instead of going like, hey, we don't have much, so we'll give you the scraps, we're just going to subcontract you our all age stories, which they should, which is what Yoda and Calvin Scott books should fall under. And therefore you get a smoother transition and a better product altogether. That's
I'm
just my
hoping
opinion.
some of this will work itself out. Like I'm hoping this is just the growing pains of like. I don't think they intended.
They learned from IDW.
I don't think they intended for IDW to end. I think that was an abrupt end that they weren't prepared for.
Maybe I
Personally.
don't. From what I've talked
That's
to
a
couple
fair
people, I'm not
assessment.
quite sure that's the case.
Well, that's my opinion. So that's how I'm thinking.
Mhm.
So, and then they weren't prepared for like a big gap of not having it for a while, and so they're like, I'm hoping that some of this works itself out because they had a much more of a gap and they needed to fill it, and I'm hoping that's part of what the problem is because they have too many comics right now. I think we all agree with that. There's
I
too
do.
many Star Wars comics
No, they
right
do,
now.
but the comics aren't like regular. They only have what 3 regular series. like regular long series that they
No.
have before?
Star Wars,
Wars,
Afra, Bounty Hunters,
Vader,
Vader,
Afra, Bounty
High-
Hunters,
High Republic,
Han and
Adventure
Chewie,
High
apparently,
Republic.
I mean, it's a
I
maxi,
know, but
whatever.
most of the stories like now, like the Yoda book, the Han Solo book, they're like limited series.
They are.
Yeah, limited.
Limited
Limited.
to what?
We have
Han's at
6
number 8.
non-limited series. Hyperspace Storage is not limited too, so that's 7.
Yeah.
So 7 ongoings and a bunch of short ones. And I'm fine with short ones.
I'm not sure it's too bad. I just think if you spread them out differently, it becomes a better product. That's all I would
Yeah,
say.
yeah, yeah. No,
We
I
get rid
I
of
do
think
Man-
think
they're
you
trying to
get
do
rid
a
of
Marvel
Mando.
type of thing, a Marvel MCU type of thing with comic books and have different characters and have all these different titles, but you can't. It doesn't work with Star Wars. If you really think of it.
Yeah, the Han series does feel like it's on issue 450. But I get what you guys are saying too, and honestly, I think we should make some of these titles and go underneath in the chat. There, we got Star Wars New 52, Star Wars Rebirth, Crisis on Infinity Jedi's. Try to give us your best ones afterwards, especially if people aren't showing here, and do them underneath. We might highlight some of them next week. We might just pull them up if they're in the after chat, underneath the video, and put some of your best ideas out there. But that's just my feeling after going through some of these books, and then knowing that Marvel's like hiatusing their FOC anyways. It's like whatever. So next week we get Star Wars with fucking and so I was cutting this and I was just like not excited now about this. And I know you're so excited because of the High Republic like throw in Wayseeker, but I'm just like almost at fatigue point at this point. So we get these
High Republic.
4 covers. The characters in the back are for Martian Row.
Yeah, see the one.
Oh, on the was the second one.
So the 1 in 25 is the
Mm.
Stephanie Hans, and then you have the 1 in 10 with
Which
the
one's the
battle,
Hans?
the Neo battle droid. So
The Neo battle droid. The Stephanie Hans is a Skywalker, right? Isn't Stephanie Skywalker with the
Skywalker with the Nihil.
Nihil and the Neo
I'm
and
probably
the,
buying the
action
Iron
figure
Giant
covers.
one if I can.
and the battle. Don't tell me you just said you like the action figure.
I like the action figure covers. Like they do the best
No,
covers.
go
I
get
like
the,
those covers.
you. What do you mean you
I
like
like those covers because it reminds me of the old vintage Star Wars comic toys. That I love the vintage cards.
that dude was awful in the prequels.
Yeah, he was awful, but I like just.
But you want his action figure cover?
I like the cover. I want the cover. I like the cover.
I pre-ordered the 1 in 25 and the 1 in 10, and those are the 2 I got.
Oh,
I'm
and the
happy about
goddamn
both.
Attack of the Clones nonsense. Give me
I don't-
Iron Giant all day, and I'll be
You know
happy
what?
with that one.
I agree, Stick Boy. This is what happened, and they were in talks with DH ahead of time, and people at IDW knew that it was at the end of the contract. It wasn't getting reviewed. They knew that, but
You know
that's
what?
neither here nor there.
Next week, right? Next week,
What?
whoever has the best idea for the Star Wars books is gonna get. There's gonna be something given away next week. I'm gonna.
All right, so after this video's over, you guys are doing this thing like Darth Vader, King in Black, whatever mashup name you can come with for the reboot for
Yeah, give us
Star
our,
Wars.
give us
Your
our-
Star Wars
our
reboot
advanced
names.
Star Wars.
Yeah,
One comment.
in the comments underneath. Come up with it. We'll
But you
choose
can only do one. You can only.
No,
do
you can
one.
do fucking as
No,
many as you can.
everybody can do
Listen,
one. Continue.
listen,
That's not
we're
fair.
gonna-
You can be like
We're
50.
gonna take the top
It's-
10 and
Hey,
put 'em in-
Seeker, how YouTube works, motherfuckers do 50. Each
Listen,
one of you do 50.
We're gonna come up with the ideas, top 10. We're gonna put them in a.
I'm trying to make the job easy
and
here.
whoever
It's like,
gets
no, we're
it
gonna
will
have
win.
5,000 comments of comics, and you're gonna go through them all. Marco, you can't go through them. Marco,
No.
you can't go through them all.
I will. You want to bet?
Yeah, I do bet. You ain't going through them all.
$100. Bet. All right. Next up, the A cover. The A cover is actually to the left. Is that the A cover? What cover is that? Is that the A cover? The left for Star. Who the fuck knows? There's so many fucking covers. Who cares? Speaking of who cares covers, we've also got second prints for Mandalorian 5, and we've got another one of Wayseeker's favorite, the second print for the.
Second printed that?
Yep. Yeah.
Winkle sisters.
It wasn't we went over it. It wasn't sold out. That was still you could still get it out of the distributor, but they had it. And then we get Twinkle Toe Sisters. So I mean, fuck. At this point, give us the Twinkle Toe Sisters back. I mean, how that book's going, half of it sucks, half of it's good. So 2 clay faces.
Yeah, I don't think I want the clay faces.
I'm all in on the Twinkle Sisters, so I got that one.
Darth, if you start reading the books, you can join us for the book
Yeah,
reviews.
Lopez,
I
we're
don't
getting
want
to the, we're
any
getting
of
to the
this.
keys. We're getting to your Heir to the Empire that you think is junk.
No. I already slapped him on the wrist for that one. All right, no FOC. That's the end of that. Okay.
There you
Ugh.
Uh,
Do not have me excited for the next upcoming week of the comics.
I'm excited for Star Wars 30. It's one comic. I want to see how they do the Nihil into and no space into it. I'm excited for that one. And it's only one.
Every once in a while, that Star Wars series does have a winner. And it usually revolves around when they implement High Republic shit into it.
Well,
I'm not saying that's happening next week. I'm not saying I read the book already next week. I'm not spoiling shit. I'm just saying it has potential.
Let's
You're
just
just
say this.
saying purple juggernaut.
I like there's 2 issues so far that I like in that run spec wise. I like
This
Star Wars 10 because I like Mark Matten. I like Star Wars 20. So maybe there's like a 10, 20, 30 thing going on here. That's what
I'm saying. Like every 10,
That's my theory.
it's kind of what I said just a minute ago, but good stuff. Okay. Anyways,
I
next
thought
up.
10 and
Well,
20.
you didn't lay it out exactly at the 10s.
Oh.
You just said occasionally.
Well, I said 3 times. This is the 3rd
You didn't
time.
say
So
3. You didn't say
say 3. All right, rewind it. Let's see what I
Well,
said.
you might have been in your head, but yeah, you didn't.
All right, fair enough. Who cares? Let's go on with our next segment. I have to
All
take a
right,
pee.
Care.
All right, so we introduced this September.
Oh, Joe, that's a good one. Put it in afterwards. Joe's got to redo all these. All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
We have 10 keys books that we introduced in September, and our plan is to look at them every 3 months to see how they're doing. And just to go over the guidelines here, we're only looking at 9.8 CGC sales only on eBay. We're not looking at any variants. We're not looking at any newsstand sales post 1990. Before that, there's more newsstands than not. So I'm not splitting that all up. We're only looking at first printings, nothing else. And like I said, the plan is to update this every quarter. So this is the first update that we're going to get onto these 10 books. And so we'll see how they're
I'm
doing.
looking
And
forward
so I
to
thought, so there's 10 books. I was going to ask the panel, how many do you think are up? How many do you think are even? And how many do you think are down? Anybody have a guess?
I think they're all likely to be down, to be honest. But I think the majority of them are going to be down, if not all.
If anybody got that, because I think I timed out.
You did time out.
I did time out. 1 up, 2 even, 7 down.
Okay. Dom, you have any guesses?
I think 4 of the books are up. I think 3 of the books, 4 of the books are up, and I think 5 of the books are they're at the same. They haven't moved, and I think the rest are down.
All right. We'll see how we
Optimist
do.
right there.
That's optimist stuff right there.
That's an
As you can
optimist
tell.
right there.
So yeah, what we looked at these September 15th. So these are sales from September 15th through December 15th. And we just didn't get to it because of the holidays until now. And so anything that happened after the 15th of December didn't get pushed into
fine.
these data yet.
We should
So
be all
anyways. So just reviewing. Darth Vader 3 2015 was one of our 10 keys. We had an average sale price for Q3, 8 down, 1 even, 1 up for Blue Beetle. We'll see. 1 up Wookiee. We had 67 sales in that previous quarter. The range there you can see is kind of tight, 295 to 375, and there was at the time 3,741 copies of 9.8 of the first printing on the census. So by far the craziest amount of copies on the census.
That is a lot of copies.
It is so many copies.
That's why. But you know what the crazy thing is? This book, right? This cover is the best cover out of all the other books. Even the other 1 in 25, it's still better than 1 in 25 because it shows them. I love the artwork, the way the cover looks, makes it look badass and sexy at the same time. You know, and
Yeah, Vader never looked better in the background there.
9/8 are selling for $67 right now.
What?
No, that's number of
so a
sales.
quarter total sales.
Oh, total sales. Sorry.
So we're reviewing where they were, and I asked the panel to think how many ups, downs, and evens they thought they were going to be, but you missed that. So
Okay,
people
sorry.
in the chat are doing that too.
Okay, cool.
Go ahead, Dom.
No, it's just it's a great book, and you know what? This book actually fluctuates up and down. You know, it's never really like dropped. It was at a peak at one time. We all know that, but it just fluctuates, and it's just at that point where it doesn't really go up and it doesn't really go down. It like stays.
I'm
at
assuming
that-
you also like all the Power Ranger printings as well. We can have every different
Yeah.
color you want.
Yeah.
The one thing I'll give this book, this is the one thing I actually don't know what the quarter price is on this book because it wasn't a book that I'm interested in selling at this point. Might be an interesting book that I'm interested in buying finally again, but I've already got
I got
7
my
copies
one.
of this shit. Like I've got a bunch of these. The one thing I'll say about this is the stagnation in price over a long period of time has been impressive. So even if this book does take a dip, I have a feeling that like we've seen the even medium price before the pandemic. The pricing before the pandemic compared to the pricing in the pandemic when everything was going high wasn't that big of a gap difference. Since we're going to see a sell-off now, because I think Wayseeker's right, that number for 9/8 is tripled at least before after the pandemic occurred. So we're seeing a lot more of them come out to play. I do think there will be an evening off. The character is very popular, though it's one that probably speculation-wise, as far as her showing up, has seen, for people who are realistic about it, have seen less and less realization that that's going to happen one day. However, the fan base is still very excited.
That's
The
just
usual
goofy
fan base
fuck.
is still very excited between this about this character. Yeah, I don't think the fan base is collecting 9/8. I don't think that's what the fan base is collecting. So, but you know, for a regular fan base to see that and go, oh, that's the fastest first appearance, and I can get it for $250.
Don't worry. I have a 9.62. I don't have a 9.8.
Yeah, why would I hate you? I have mine's probably 9.62. I just haven't subbed it because
I have a 9.8.
I have a couple 9/8s. I have a 9.6, and I got 4 raws, I think.
I have
but
a whole
like-
bunch just sitting there. I gotta get graded.
Yeah, so that's that. I don't know if it's worth it to get them all graded. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you
I would argue
3,800?
against that right now too.
Yeah. So what was this? The first book?
Let's take a look at where this thing is going.
Yeah. Let's see where it is.
Yeah, let's go to there.
67.
Average sale price in Q4 was $270.
So about $250. Yeah, nice.
Down 15%. Exactly 67 sales again this quarter. So I mean, nothing. That was pretty interesting to me. The census, as you can see, jumped by almost 250 more copies this quarter. And the range there, I can't see it because of the numbers there. It was 190 to 325. So so I 15% as we go through, we'll see how that stacks up to where.
Ring the bell.
Sorry about that. That was fucking hilarious. All right, go ahead. Yeah, I think we'll see where it stacks up, but I think this is what we expected, right? This isn't that bad. It's kind of what Dom was hinting towards. Wayseeker. I don't know how you see this. I really do want your opinion on this because I know when you entered the market with some of these, but like a book that I feel was in that 190 to 325 pre-pandemic and is back to, like I said, 250 before. And I didn't, Wayseeker, I didn't look, you didn't send me.
I didn't put this in the chat so nobody could see it.
So when I say 250 and it's right there, we're looking at 250 as an average medium, right? Like 190 to, I'm pretty damn close on this.
Yeah, right about. You're
right. I mean, I'm saying like this book is actually a healthy book. This is a book that if you do get below market at this point, I'd still feel comfortable buying below market at this point. I just would. So
yeah, I think when we talk about where things are going to go, to me, we'll talk about this a little bit later, but the next 3 weeks are going to be really interesting for Star Wars comics. That's my thought. Maybe not for like other comics, but Star Wars. One thing I noticed doing this is a lot of these hit a low, like mid-November, and then they kind of bounced off the floor mid-November. And it kind of is like, is it a Christmas bump that kind of gave some of these big
maybe,
back?
Yeah.
And so like, are they going to come back down in January?
So that's the usual market, by the way. That is the pre-pandemic. What you're seeing right now, what you are describing, for those people that are a little bit newer in this, that is the pre-pandemic selling market. Pete, you've been long enough. You know this. There is that November low, that Christmas buying.
Everybody get ready for Christmas.
Little bump up thing, and then it goes back down, and then we get the tax check bump.
So
I don't even think there's tax check. It's also, hey, I got Amazon gift cards. I got eBay gift cards. Hey, everybody's got money that they got as gifts.
A little bit. You get that right now, but then it drops. January is rough to beginning of February is rough.
Yeah.
But
so I'm really interested to see what happens in these next 3 weeks, personally, to see if we're going to test those new lows, bounce off those lows, or they're going to go down. So I'm going to be reading a lot into these next 3 weeks to kind of see.
It's good. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if we get back to that.
You know,
because right now, huh?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So right now they're following that trend. If this stays steady through January and the first week of February, if it stays steady at this point, then it's going to be very interesting because we might have a great rise. There might be a great rise.
So you're calling this like an X23, which was like an 8. Well, no, she was like 900 to $1,000 forever in
Yeah.
9.8. It was years. It just sat there. I mean, the movie
Yeah.
was done. She was already on screen. Everybody's
I'm talking general in the Star Wars market, but yeah.
But I'm just comparing it to that, and then all of a sudden, it kicked up. It was just steady forever. Like it never
forever.
dipped.
Yeah.
It didn't dip. It just maintained.
Yeah,
And then
that's what this book is.
it went.
It's
Yeah,
I'm sorry, it's maintaining. It is maintaining. And little things can make this book,
That's a good one.
peak up a little bit. Like, like the toy. There's a new Black series coming out with Dr. Aphra. That's the new one that's coming out, the new figure. Like little things like that. When you look like a statue or something that has, even though it's not like a movie or TV show, little things that come out make the popularity of a character get a little
See, I don't think it's gonna bump it. I think that's
Sometimes-
what's helping it maintain.
Yeah, I think
It's
I
keeping
think
her
that's
in the consciousness.
agreed. And I think Dom, what you're describing was something that was purely pandemic, where people were wasting a lot of money on shit and overpaying for stuff. I think that portion's done. I'm just talking in particular that maybe we have to find how many people are out of the market now. If it is because they are a collector, if it is because they are a reseller, if it is because they are the hustle gang, bro, gang, whatever the fuck they want to call themselves. Like, we got to figure out how many of those people
Don't
are
get
out.
Dom all excited.
No, she's too young. Can't be a baby.
Well, and I just want to see like where that's going to go, right? Like we've seen this flipper where guys weren't even selling books, calling themselves dirty flippers and shit. Most of them are out of the market already, and it has gone poorly. Well, they don't move the market anymore. We've seen that happen.
Right.
But the question is, like, this book has been a stable book. Other books that we're going to talk about weren't stable books. They were high risers, high lowers, right? This is a stability book. It is very good. The news that Wayseeker just told us, for those, I know I'm not doing the shoot where I'm the whatever, but I'm giving you the real facts here. This is a very positive thing. When Wayseeker said, I'm interested in this, it's very good. Do understand this book right here is very good news for the Star Wars market. Sorry to bore everybody. Go ahead, Wayseeker.
Yep. Yeah. And so I think this is be a fascinating one to check. And so, yeah, we'll see what the next 3 weeks does. And maybe we can kind of make some generalizations based off of that. I don't know. I will be personally. So anyway, we're going to keep going forward. Our next book from our top 10 key list that I came up with is Jedi versus Sith #1. This is fourth appearance of Darth Bane. We said here before its average price was $375, which only had one sale the previous quarter, 145 on census. So it's a really small number compared to some of the other ones on the census in that 9.8. So this is one of the smallest ones. But we also said this is one that we think you could probably maybe sneak a sale or two in because it can go under the radar. And so we'll see how it did here.
Oh, wait. We were going to give. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's fine.
No.
Okay, I'll talk about now what my opinion on this book is, but go ahead. Feel free.
Yeah,
Well,
so
that's
you can see here, average sale here was
A little competition. Yep.
312. We can do a competition on the next one.
No, what I'm saying is there's a little competition here. There's 6 more sales. So,
Yeah.
you're going to see a little bit. That's a natural 10% dip because if there's 6 more offered in the quarter, that means there's more availability, more competition.
Yeah,
This
prices
book-
go down because you can play one off the other.
Right. This book is actually another very interesting. This is surprising because this book was very low pre-pandemic. This is one that may be acknowledging people where they were saying, hey, this is a first appearance of a very important character. Talking when you talk back to legacy stuff, when you talk to Rule of Two, and it actually brought this character back into predominance, which maybe it's interesting that it's still selling for this much, is in my opinion. Even though I love this book and I'm a big believer in this book, I just think that the overall market, how low of a hit with the competition that came out here, hence 6 copies compared to 1, shows that this is actually a pretty damn healthy book. And if you've been buying these, you're not going to be sad. And it looks like that might have long.
This. I got 2 sets.
Yeah, you might have some longevity on this book. This is actually a very positive out. I mean, it sounds 17% down on average. The low hitting over $120. I get that, but like this is actually really, really positive. This is extremely positive.
And the
That's-
high actually was above there, which is another
Mhm.
interesting thing too. Somebody went back. The census numbers did jump kind of
Mm.
surprisingly, but that's I think also why we had more sales this
Yeah,
quarter.
because I think the other thing we're missing as part of this comparison is we are missing that the overall market, outside of just Star Wars, the overall market is overall down
Mhm.
at this current quarter.
Yeah.
So I think factoring that in,
but not
this
the-
dip
like
isn't as bad as what it could have
yeah,
been.
like literally, literally with the up sales, I mean, it's like a 2% dip, to be honest with you. And Joe, I thought it was a niche book. That's what I'm saying. I thought it was a niche book, but it looks like it's becoming more mainstream, where you see this type of data coming out. Plus, it's a terrible fucking read.
Nobody's reading this one.
I've read it a bunch of times. I love it. I think it's fucking awesome, but it's a terrible. It's like what? It's like watching C-rate horror movies. They're fucking horrible, but it's fucking brilliant. Like, but it's bad.
Jedi should go back and read these books because I would love to hear what Jedi.
Dude, no,
Yeah.
Jedi, can you review these? Because when he's
are like
Oh,
way
I
better
would
than what's
love
good in this book.
dude, when he sees
Who is
what's
this
Horse
Rain
Man?
character?
What's the thing? The goat man thing? Oh fucking A, dude. And the fairies and the pirate ship. Oh fuck. He would lose it. He's gonna lose
Brings
his
me
shit.
back to pink elephants.
Yeah, it's so bad it is good.
It is. It is. All right, we keep moving here. I
don't think John, that's what I'm saying. I don't think your mindset's
no.
off here. I think your mindset's off here. You're assuming these books are not pushed by speculators. Your assumption that if it makes a show, that's a speculation thought process. When you see these low percentages, when you see a competition market that's 600%, and you're only seeing a 70% dip in a down overall trend market of over 36%, like, I'm sorry, that's a bad mindset. Am I making sense, or am I talking
for Star? Don't just bank on TV appearances, movie appearances, all that kind of stuff. It's a little bit of a different market, but like Marco was saying, the overall market is down closer to a third. So this only dipped 17% as compared to dipping, like you said,
with more
35,
copies
36.
selling, like, and it had a higher high point, like, so, like, I don't think the factor of, I mean, Bane's already in canon, so like, it's not, we had Darth Bane actually showed up already, like, he's already showed up.
The character,
His book
exactly.
didn't spike because of that. It had a little bump because of that, but it didn't spike because of that. So I think when you see consistency here,
I mean, to be fair, a TV appearance or mention or whatever would cause another spike.
of course, it's going to cause a higher spike, but
but that's not
when
the
we're seeing,
driving-
when we're seeing average ground or once again, it's way setting at this point. We're seeing where the median is, and it seems pretty solid. So,
Well, listen, if a comic book, a modern comic book cover like the Marvel had Bane in the cover, didn't give it like a little price hike on this, it's going to take a little bit more for it to.
Well, the Marvel cover was a different looking. That stuff was another. It didn't look the same.
once again, I think that goes back to your theory of like all that other stuff, which doesn't affect it. Do not forget that this book, as he said, this book has sold its height in the last 6 months was this quarter. The highest price this book sold for in the last 6 months was in this quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so
He's
it's
coming
As
somewhere.
well as it's low.
No, he's not coming somewhere. He already came.
No, I
Yeah.
mean, he's coming either back in a like a cartoon animation, like if they talk about something, or
No, see, I think that's why it's dangerous. I think that plays into, unfortunately, what John was saying, where that mindset of that's what drives the market. Like, I'm sorry, I've been saying it for a while, and now we're seeing proof here. And I have nothing to do with this list, so you can't say I'm manipulating this list to make my point valid. I have no clue what. I mean, I have a little bit
It's
of
on
clue.
the list 'cause I went over it, but you probably don't remember. But the list
Yeah, I didn't particularly go, what books did he have on his list? I'm going to go look them up. I have so many books I have to look up. I didn't go, I'm going to look up the Wayseeker top 10 list so I can talk about it. And we didn't fix the number. And I can't fake the numbers. Like, it wasn't like I was like, oh shit, I better go buy a $400 book real quickly to up the numbers, because I don't give two fucks either way. So,
also, I'm sorry, Pete. Going back to your question, a different appearance of Bane on the cover. That's the same Bane that was in the Clone Wars cartoon. I mean,
I know it's the same Bane, but he doesn't look. I'm just.
I know,
saying
but that's the way he
doesn't
looked
He
when he
doesn't look like
came
a
when he was
samurai in this.
So that's the reason why
did.
it looked like that in the comic. I'm just saying.
Jen and Dom, would you buy it right now? Would you buy this book? That's an interesting question, Dom.
You know what? If
Nope.
I came across it,
No.
I probably would. No, I actually would.
I bid $250 That one that went for 253, I bid 250, and the person got it for 250 more than me. Could I bid
Oh, so you're
250?
stacking all these prices. That's what you're doing.
No. That was my one I tried
Yeah.
to buy.
It's good to be
I
honest
would
about it.
buy this at. If I could find a copy at 250, I'm a buyer. If I don't get
If
it,
I can
250,
win
I'm
an
not a
auction,
buyer.
if I can win an auction
Just-
that's cheaper, definitely.
Just to say where I'm at right now in my price point. So if you want to buy this book, you're probably going to have to pay 253.
Yeah, but I
I
feel
am
like
going higher than 250.
we're
Yeah,
only
okay.
2 books into this 10 book list, but I feel like so far both books feel like they're made books. Like
I don't think we're gonna. I will be honest with
the
you.
price.
Yeah, I don't know what are the other books because I didn't see what was on the list, but I don't feel like this is going to be a staying trend. I could be wrong, but we'll see.
No, I think they're all going to be down a little bit. That's why.
You see, I
That's what
actually
I said,
think the Dark Horse books, the key Dark Horse books.
Well, it depends on who you ask what a key Dark Horse book is.
I'm just saying, like the Thrawn, the Bane, and a couple other characters that are in the Dark Horse run.
Just cool sounding names: Talon, Crate, Riven. Sure, let's do them all. Malik.
I'm just saying, but the fact that I think that those will have longevity down the road if anything does come about.
So
I would say that because I know for a fact 2 of those books you're referencing took huge fucking dumps.
huge,
Yeah.
huge.
Because look,
Yeah, well, we're
Take-
getting.
let's
take
go.
down like
Let's
75.
So, I can tell you, I don't know what they did, but I guarantee you when they come up, I'll be like, that book take a
Yeah,
fucking
Tom,
dump.
you don't have to
That's on my
speculate.
list,
A
but
couple of
Crate-
books
if I
are
was
on our
telling you
list.
what Crate's down from its
Let's
height,
get-
it's like 70-some%. So,
Yeah.
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 Let's keep moving here.
Ventress.
Star Wars Jedi Mace Windu. This is the first appearance of Asajj Ventress. Another Dark Horse book here. We saw the previous one. Quarter was 427. We had 8 sales in that
Wow.
quarter. He had a range was really large, between
That is a-
367 and 539. There's 200 of these, 201 of these on census. So, what, Marco? What do you want to do here? You want to take a guess on what? Is that what
Oh,
you
and
want?
this one throws me through a loop. This is one where I would think that the stability of this book is not as good as the last 2 books we've seen. If
I
it was
don't
a
know. I think
percent,
it might be close. I think it might be close. I think it's like a 350.
if it
average
was,
price.
I mean,
Right,
I'm
that's
thinking
20%.
about probably 20% or below drop in the average price, around the same amount of sales. That's what I would think, or maybe actually I would assume probably more sales. I bet you more people put this book up.
Oh, you think more
which-
people cashing out?
Yeah.
That
I
could
think
lead
this is
to
a cash
that
out
could lead
book.
to a bigger dip though if there's more cash outs.
Well, I said, at least a 20%. So like,
I think
that,
20 is right though. I think we're right around 20, but I'm thinking.
and I
maybe
didn't.
more
This is
so.
not a book. This is not a book I would expect to see on this list. But I can be wrong every once in a while. Also.
Yeah. Yep.
So
All right. Let's see what happens.
16%.
See?
Well, no, it's not
Yeah.
20. Well, less books sold. I thought more people would get out of it.
Mm.
16. Good job, Pete.
But you got that range. You got that really low sale of 264,
Mhm.
and a high
Mm.
of 425. And so the average there was 2 sales. I think it was like 425 and like 400, and then you had like that 264.
So it's on the way down. It just hasn't hit there yet.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see how
Plus,
this.
you didn't look in. You didn't specifically call it out, but there is that chance, like the crazy ass newsstand premiums that people might pay.
Well, yeah, I didn't. Any newsstands I wouldn't include in here.
Oh, you didn't include it at all. Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know if you just
There
weren't
were
specifically
newsstand
looking
sales
for
for
it.
some of these, but if they're newsstands, I took them out. Anything post 1990 because I've seen this one in a 9.8. The last newsstand of this one sold for 1,500.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I know, right?
I thought when you said it, I thought you just said you weren't specifically. I thought it meant you
No.
weren't specifically
I'm
looking,
taking them out.
Not you were pulling them out. Okay.
Yeah. Because
Yeah. It's always supposed to be the book.
1,500 was the last sale for a
Yeah.
newsstand on this thing.
Wow.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Wish I had
Which-
one of those.
Wow.
I'd be selling that
Which-
thing in a heartbeat, and then I'd be
which-
buying like 2 of these regular ones for.
Well, see, that's why I think that might be propping up some of the price on this too, which is an add-on to it. You know what I mean?
What is?
So like, because when they're like, oh well, the there's this weird thing where like people see a newsstand price and they're like, holy shit, since it's that expensive, a regular book, percentage wise can't be. And this,
they do the reverse math and they think, okay, no, I should be able to get 25%.
Yeah, no, I understand
Right.
what you're saying there, Marco, because it's crazy. And
Yeah.
that was an auction too. It was like 2 people just bidding
Like,
themselves up for that.
they're kind of like Wayseeker. They're kind of like Wayseeker just said, shit, that one's 15. I'll sell that and buy 2 of these, 3 of these for 325. Fucking A. Hell yeah, baby. It's like, okay, well, it's not the same.
Trade
But
it in.
I get it. So that's what I'm saying is like, this is why this is one of those weird books where I kind of was saying like, it's a weird, but it's great. I'm glad you added this. Thank you for this. Cause this is very good. So
Yeah.
All right. What do we got next?
Next, we got this controversial one, of course. This is the first cover of the Rebels crew.
Okay.
Not the first appearance there. We've went over that before. This is the one that sells for more, has been selling for more.
Yeah.
We kind of wanted to track this one for that very reason. It also doesn't have the variant covers. And that's the hard part about one is one has so many variant covers and 6 does not.
Yeah, there's tons of printing too. Yeah.
Tons of printing, second printing. So this one
That's
only
why,
has
I mean, this one was pushed because it doesn't have as much. We understand what they were doing.
We understand there. As you can see, it has a high census number, not anywhere near the AFRA, but 800 is really high for most of these books. Previous quarter had 33 sales. The range there was huge, between 299 and 565, with the average sale of 427.
Now this should be huge because under Dom's theory, we've got Obi-Wan's sister cousin wife is Hera. We've seen a booty, a Hera booty, Hera Bajudi, whatever you want to call it, the booty of Hera.
Walk back into.
Where do we think this is
Wife
going?
and booty.
Booty of Hera.
Yes.
But like, how many months? So
He said, but
yes, that's what I was talking about. Hera's butt. Okay. Anyways, but I still have to say, I don't think this is. So this is a book under Dom's theory. This book should be average price is probably a 20% to 30% gain. And I have to say that I don't believe this is the case. I think that at best it's at its average, and it's probably below average.
yeah, this is probably. I think this one is down 25%.
Oh, okay.
All right, we ready to move on?
Yeah, let's see what we got. No, Dom, what do you think?
Oh,
26. Oh shit. Sorry. Yeah, I mean that's it. Like, there we go. It's wow,
Yeah,
it took a hit.
Numbers out my ass.
This one
I
took
have
a
no
big
idea.
hit.
I didn't look any of
And
this up.
I did some interesting research on Kanan 1. Kanan 1 took an equally big hit.
Yeah,
Kanan
they're
1,
yeah.
Kanan 1 9.8, 140. We had a sale last week for 140 with free shipping. 9.8. So like it's still ranging about half of this. So it's the ratio is the gap is closing, but the ratio is staying about the same.
Alfonso, Alfonso, I love you, bro. I hope you're joking about that. You do know we don't get paid for this. This is our day job. We're just hanging out here, fucking throwing some shit together. But
If you want
it's
the
just
median,
so-
sure, I guess we can.
Can you provide the median also? All right. We'll see what we can do for
All
next
right,
one.
we want to get
It's
what
not hard,
standard
but when
deviation
you
next.
like
Let's do
67
standard deviation
sales, like
while
this
we're
is-
at it. Like,
Yeah. But
Oh,
this,
we need a trap line. Next time, basically 15 fucking. They're gonna be so pissed when I do the review of the draft thing, where it's like, this is the fucking. I got bored and stopped fucking looking up the rest. I'm just giving you the average.
You're putting fake numbers in. We already know you're putting fake
Oh,
numbers
no,
in.
no, I wouldn't put fake numbers in. Absolutely not.
They want
Absolutely
some
not.
fucking fantasy football style analytics. They just want to see some.
Yeah,
But here's the crazy thing to me. Look at the drop in sales on this book.
yeah.
Look at
that
every
is-
quarter.
There's a lot of stuff up there too. Like you have to drop the price on this.
People
I want to know what the
that
sales are on one
don't
though.
sell at this price are I don't know what's going on. Maybe because the show's coming out, they're just going to hold it. But nobody's interested in this book, and
Do you want to know my opinion on this book? My opinion book, this one, what hurts one is that there's so many copies. This one,
Yeah.
all the people that were trying to push horse shit and tell you how great this book were sold the copies they had.
Yeah,
So
they
at
already
this
got
point,
out. So.
they get out. It's gone. There's nothing left there.
Yeah.
So it's like people don't want they're not there's the people that are trying to sell this book aren't going to be able to sell it because they're not going to be able to get their
Let's
money out
also
of it.
let's not discount the fact that this gets it muddled. Like you have 1, you have 6. Yeah, well, they show up in 5. You have the Lego book.
No,
You have the magazine.
hold on.
Book, you have there's so many options on the
Well,
table.
that's people were making up a lot of shit. No, that's not the right one. Where is it?
Ring the bell!
Ring the bell. He
Ring
gets
the
2.
bell!
His other,
Ring the bell!
other comment was good too, so we got 2, almost 3 bells on that one. Good job. Thank you for that. But I think that's it too, Pete. I think that was it. I think it was a game where people were trying to get like, oh, I'm gonna call this is the first thing, and because nobody's talking about it, and that way we can build content off of it. I know for a fact a lot of those dudes didn't even have any of the books. What?
Let's just call it full.
Yeah, I mean, some of them didn't even have the shit. Damn, what the fuck was? Some of them didn't even have the shit to sell on it. So like, but it did get away from people, and now I think the people that were trying to pump and dump. That's what it was. They pumped it, they dumped it.
Kanan 1's doing the same thing. That's the hard part.
Kanan 1, no, but Kanan 1's a different situation because of the amount of books that
I
come
know.
with Kanan
There's
1.
just too many of them. I mean,
It actually should be. So if this was if this was not a pump and dump, the numbers should be less on this than Kanan 1 because there's no variance for this.
right.
There's
Yeah,
no,
no
the
second
prints. It's, I mean, the numbers are
numbers are
wackily
less.
different.
Kanan 1
They're-
has a lot more than 877. I
Yeah.
believe. So
And people are still selling more of those than they are.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
And
saying.
plus, you
So,
got the
like,
1 in 10, you got the 1 in
Oh,
25,
fucking-
you
you
got
get-
the second print.
the
of
second
you got the
Kanan
Kanan
shit from Books a Million. You got all that shit.
Oh,
dude.
yeah,
There's
the
like
Books a Million
you
Vader
got
book.
Scotty
Yeah,
fucking Young.
Scotty,
You got
yeah.
there's so fucking many.
that's
Yeah.
why I didn't want to put Kanan 1 on here because there's just too many variants. But one thing that you do see here is the range is kind of consolidated, and I'll be interested to
It
see.
did. The highs came down.
The highs came down real far.
Yeah.
The lows stayed where they were. So maybe we have a temporary low on this.
A
book,
temporary
like
low. We'll see.
280 somewhere in that.
But it's also, but we've also lost 20 sales.
we have lost a lot of sales, but the
Yeah,
range is very, very small. Even if
This
nobody wanted
feels
to pay
more like a
You
stubborn
think,
book to me.
you think somebody would pay more because there was only 13 sales, but they didn't. So
Yeah, feel you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is one of those stubborn books. Like, well, I can't go lower than that because, well, I paid more than that for this, or it's the first full, so I can't let it go. Right? Like, this is one of those ones that's going to stay.
Give it to him. Give it to him. That was the whole fucking intro. You gotta give us, you gotta give us an easier spot. You gotta give us an easier spot for me. My eyes are half closed because I'm laughing at it. I'm a Star Wars super freak. I'd rather eat a box of pencils than buy this book. What the fuck? That's awesome. All right.
I like it. Jazz been around a while.
we're not putting any plugs out for any of these books. That's not at all what this list is for.
No.
It's a way of getting a market snapshot. And so I felt like that's why this one should be there.
You're doing a great job.
Jazz
This is a
been
great
around
job.
All right. Here's another one I don't put a plug for.
All right, so this was in Dom's wheel. This one, second to third quarter, took a huge fucking dip. It already took a huge. This was the book Dom. This is one of the books Dom was talking about. I was like, shit. Second to third quarter, this book already took a huge shit. How much bigger of a shit can this
I
book
think
take?
it's taking another big shit. I think this is like closer to 30.
I don't think so. There's no way it could have taken that big of a shit.
Now,
It's got-
I actually think like maybe 15%.
Hell, I might even say 40%.
I say 15.
30 to
15%.
40 is my call.
I would say not as many sales, and 9's not even a lot of sales.
Agreed. Not as many
I would
sales.
say not as many sales, and I wouldn't. I
Somebody
would
was brazen through this shit up for auction and realized, oh shit, nobody wants this right now.
really, or just had to get out. That's a good point. I didn't put that into that. So Pete's saying there's only one book for sale and it's sold for $500. That's what Pete's saying.
No,
By the
that's
way,
not what I'm saying. I'm just,
wait,
I'm
you said 60%. I got your percentage. I looked at the number.
guessing. I'm right.
Roughly, it was about, it's 475, 5 and 15, somewhere around there. So you're saying that one auction went up, it was 515.
If I'm
And that's-
right, I'm gonna fucking open up my DraftKings. I'm gonna start placing some bets.
Oh my
I'm just
God.
on a streak.
Are we
What
ready?
do you say? KOTOR, $600, 2 sales. Okay. Yeah,
Are you
I don't
ready?
think, yeah, let's go.
Jedi, do you want to get in on this?
I said 30 to 40%.
No, let's just go. This takes forever.
All right.
25.
Six
Still.
sales.
6 sales, 3 down. Okay.
Census
Okay.
jump, but not too
General
big
idea. That's there.
on this one. The range there, though, was the high was lower than the low. By
Yeah, you're right. Both is so Pete, you did kind of hit it 25, 6, 285 on the low end.
Yeah, it was closer, but I got a little brazen there. At the end.
Dude, if you look at this book in Q1 of last year,
Oh yeah.
holy fuck, did you took an L. Just fucking right. There's one dude who's watching the show right now. I know he's watching and just not chatting, who has been talking a shit ton about this book. A shit ton about this book. You got to stop talking about this book, dude. It's L'd out there. Just take your L on this one. Move along. Like
I
it
wouldn't
just-
be. I'm not anywhere near it. You're talking about some books I'm a buyer, like the Bane I'm a buyer. I ain't anywhere near a buyer.
Oh, this shit ain't at the bottom yet, bro. I've warned people for years about this fucking book. I've warned them for years. I told him when it got to the peak. Pete shaking his head yes because he's heard me to nausea tell people this is the fucking peak. And guess what? It was the fucking peak. And this shit has been falling ever since. And
It's just
Wait.
a stubborn. This is a stubborn fall because people have so much money in it. They're
Yeah.
only willing to take.
holy
loss.
fuck.
But people are
Holy
taking
fuck.
losses, but they're still trying to.
I mean, hey, to the 3 people that bought this for $1,700 from me, and the other person that bought for $1,550.
Who's Emperor SBF that's trying to get in the stream? Somebody's trying to join.
Who
Is that JJ? JJ, is that you?
Well, how else would they have it? I'm letting them in because
JJ? JJ.
It's me.
Okay.
Ever
Like,
SPF.
who else could it be?
All right.
What's going on?
How long you been waiting? Hopefully not too long.
No, not long.
All right. Go ahead, Marco. Sorry.
Good job, BK. I hope you're the asshole that bought 2 of these off me for $1,700 a piece. That's why you hate me so much, because I've been telling you not to. I told you not to buy them. You bought them off me, or you bought the other one for $15.25, $15.35, whatever it was, and now you're looking at a book that's worth $600.
This is the first Revan. It's a
Yeah.
shadow of a Revan, but
Yeah.
Well, you could argue how much of a Revan it is, but I actually talked to the writer of the book who told me Revan shows up in Zero. So
It
Yeah.
does. The flip book.
that's a full. That
The
can't
Yeah,
first
but
appearance of a
granted,
dude in a
he's-
row.
he's in a
But
robe,
still-
really, really tiny in number 0. But he
It's
said
all. It doesn't matter. This was the one. The problem with this book was there's a.
just know what you're buying. In this book,
Yeah.
you do get a
No,
couple
come on.
panels.
Let's stop with the bullshit. What really realistically with top 10 lists and everything else, they ask opinions for people who know stuff, and you say, hey, this is kind of what it is. They positioned it as something that it wasn't 100%. People latched onto that shit because we said Revan is a good, and they said, well, which Revan books? And you said, well, he's in this one, he's in this one. They go, so this is the second one, that's the first full. That's what they positioned it as, because you could
No,
buy
I
a
know
fucking
what
ton
you're
of these.
saying, but all I'm saying is to let people know what's in this book. You're getting a couple of panels, you're getting some dialogue, but no name, no identification,
Yeah,
no face.
it's a cameo.
So
But
it
they
is what
didn't
it
have
is.
an appearance,
All
they didn't
what
have a
you want.
first.
Just know what you're buying.
Yeah.
like this thing could go to $300 and maybe I'd be a buyer there. But like I ain't touching this book personally.
It's
as a
tough
buyer.
when you're pulling them out of $5 bins to buy them for that much. I mean,
I was
So
mad
for
when I had to pay
$1,500.
$50 for this thing because I
Yeah.
was told what was in it before everybody knew what was in it, and I was like, I'm not buying that.
yeah.
Even
It's
though
just
it's
not-
on my comic shop for $2-3, I'm not buying one. Fuck it, I don't care.
And there's a lot of them. This was the other thing that people misunderstood too.
I need one. Now.
Like this was one of the books that was in the pallet sales. So there's a lot of high grade of this book. And I don't know, man. Whatever. I mean, I think you're right. Fuck it. I'm going to take a victory lap. Yeah. I told you so, motherfuckers. Told you so.
Anyway, it is on the
Told
list.
you so.
Still selling for $6.94. So that's
Yeah.
you know, if you have a raw that's a 9.8, I'd get it graded. So
How
You got
many
Marco
have we
running
gone
around the
through?
track. Marco's running around the track. The friggin'
The check, dude. Like the two
plane in
vouchers.
his hand.
Yeah, with a donut and with a euro in one hand, my gold chain on. Yeah, run around. Yeah, I get it.
Wait, Seeker. How many of our books did we go through? We go through half.
Hey, JJ will tell you the same thing about this book. JJ, what do you think about this book?
I've never been a fan of this book.
we have
There you
5
go.
left. We've gone
He's
through
not lying.
5 with
Fakey
5
first
left.
appearance.
Okay.
We've got receipts, man. Go ahead. Next up.
Wait, before we go to the next one, that's why I wanted while we're in the middle.
Okay.
So I wanted to take a quick pause so we can talk about.
Oh,
God, I cannot believe we destroyed this.
I figured why the hell not? You guys, the chat was asking for it, and it just took me a while to get to it. If you don't like that, go get yourself How the Gimp Stole Christmas.
Yeah,
Because we got that up too.
that
You got the
one.
link? You got the link down below, or the link will be down below.
Yeah, the link is in the main video down below.
This one has got a
That
lot
one may get
of.
removed quickly.
Yeah, we try to fix it so that it won't, because we apparently ran into some copyright infringement requests.
We'll be fine.
We've been
There's
warned.
two copyright.
Honestly.
We've been warned a couple times. About,
There's an image and likeness request, and then Dr. Seuss's
it passed. Listen, it passed HR today, so we're gonna go with it and see what happens.
But here's the important note:
Limited time only.
if you want to wait and take your chances that it lasts, January 11th is when TeePublic has a sale. Everything's like 40% off. It's only like $13.
I wouldn't wait. I have a feeling with all the kickback we've gotten on the first 2 copies of that shirt, this one will be going fast. It'll sell out fast, or at least be pulled down fast. So there we go. Thank you for the love of the Kekon too. That's
Caca!
All right, let's keep moving.
Shameless self-promotion.
For Jedi.
hey, Blue Beetle. You haven't watched. None of these books are dying. Most of these books, the first 2 books we had we're setting even with the market. Like,
Even Ventress was only like 16%.
yeah, what are you watching the
market's
show?
down like a
16%
third.
is not
That
bad to where the
Yeah,
market is.
with how many more was in there? I don't think.
The whole market is down right now. So
Yeah,
that's-
it's called a correction. I mean, there's to a certain
Yeah.
degree, there's a correction. It doesn't mean complete
That was
shattered.
that. No, that fucking book has been then trekking as Wayseeker down into the shitter, and that's different.
I think part of the Revan.
This is
thing
another
too
one that's going to take a hit.
Not to double back to that, but part of the Revan thing too is I think as you get further away from that as a central point of hype, people more and more realize that it's not going to happen, at least not anytime soon, type of thing. So,
Or that's going to make a difference. I don't know how much. Huh?
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, well, they 1750. So what do you want?
All right.
No,
I don't
I'm
give a
looking
shit.
at
Air one.
I'm looking at Air right now.
Oh.
I'm like,
This is not the
1750
for the
last
regular
quarter,
copy?
or 1170. Sorry, 1170.
regular
I'm sorry.
copy.
yeah. This is down over 20%.
1170. 7 sales previous quarter. The range there was pretty tight with 1,000 to 1,350. 315 of these on census.
There's a shit ton of these books too,
There are
and there's a
It's
and
down
there's
like
a
30.
there's a lot of fucking there is a lot of newsstand, which doesn't help this book. There's a lot of bullshit that was put in, like there's a lot of bullshit that was put onto this book for people to try to sell shit. So like unfortunately, I think this is
You got
I
the
think it's
other-
cool.
the other edition too, right? The
I think this is a correction, but I think it's gonna find a bottom. Unlike the other book, isn't close. I think this is gonna be quicker to find where its even point is.
well,
but
and
this
that's what I was getting at when I saw
Yeah.
the price from quarter 3. I'm
Yeah.
like 1170. That's too high. Like that's too much.
Man,
Yeah.
they had a Swedish.
I want I don't have a 9.8 of this. I want a 9.8 pretty bad. I don't know where that bottom is.
Yeah.
But when I
Sorry-
feel like I have
sorry,
to know
John.
where
They
that
had
bottom
like a
is, I will
5.5
play by one.
Swedish edition for $500 online.
Swedish.
well, okay, but that's what I'm saying. Like that's just bullshit. That's bullshit that people are pushing. That's that's what bullshit that people are pushing into the market to try to devalue some of this other shit. Like so, I think we're gonna have all that kind of hit here, and I think that's one of the things that hurts this book. I think this is different than Revan, but I think this is going to have a similar hurt on it.
This is-
We're seeing a lot of 30% in the chat.
I
I agree with that. I had a
as
couple
the
of
voice
these.
of reason, I disagree a little bit.
I just okay. Go ahead, please.
This book, this book, while it may still fall some, I think has the chance to yo-yo back far more than like the Revan book does.
Oh, I'm not talking about
that's
my
what I'm saying.
yo-yo.
No, that's what I'm saying. This has a better chance of not falling as far, holding and correcting back up a little bit. I don't think it's going to jump back to its heights.
Well, the question is, was the height? See, I don't know. Does it though? When you get a casting announcement, does it jump back up then? Does it
Yeah,
reach
this
its
market
height?
is fucking nuts.
Not that high. Not how high this it was
You
inflated.
say that, but this market
You say
is
that, but
crazy.
I mean,
Still,
Look-
like when things happen, when things move, think people just start throwing. Like they got
do.
can't
They
hold
do.
on to money long enough. They got to throw it away.
If there's money to, but the problem is we know he's coming. We know he's coming soon.
But
We
you
know this. It hasn't stopped the drop. Okay, it hasn't stopped the drop.
yeah, but you
Because
have
the-
no actual news though. You may know it, but my point is when the actual casting happens, or when the actual him in a trailer happens, or something like that. That's the point where it's going to correct back, right?
A little bit.
Regular news cycles start picking up and talking about
Right.
it.
But we haven't. But time out. We hit the drop lately, and Wayseeker's going to get it. Do you want to tell them, Wayseeker, what's the
No, I mean, I
market
guess the other part is JJ is how many people are willing to waiting to sell it at that point too. And
or can? Because that's where our
That's what I think. Yeah, that's
that's
the
where
other
our like, hey, with the books that had higher like wannabe flipper hustle dog gang
I
people,
think the
they're gone. They don't have money. They're fucking broke. They were already broke. They're fucking dirt shit broke.
well, those people are going to dump the book fast, though. Those are the people
That's
that are selling the
gonna
book
affect
now.
I think that's Marco's point, though. They're waiting for that so they can.
No, I don't think
cash
they're
out.
waiting. I think those people aren't waiting. They're the ones dumping the book now and losing
Oh.
22%.
maybe I don't know.
Well-
I mean, some people have to sell.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if they're selling now and losing the 20 and 30%, who then? Where's the them that's going to buy this fucking
I
book? Because
still have
I think it's the
People
people that
got
sent it
it
in and
somewhere.
graded
I
it
don't know
and
where
are
they
holding
are.
it. And the people that are holding
Yeah.
it. I mean,
I
you
don't
look
know.
at this
It's
book in
from-
the census a long time ago, it wasn't anywhere close to where it is now. I mean,
agreed.
in the past year, there's probably doubled the census number in this thing.
No, more than double the census number. More
Well,
than
even then-
double the.
How many of those people then that sent those in and that number doubled? How many of those people are just holding it and haven't even put it on the market yet?
Yeah, that's
But
my,
there's
that's
all-
my fear about why it might go down more.
Yeah,
because it floods the
competition.
market.
Yeah,
But
floods the market.
I guess your question then is, will the demand?
But there's
be
also
high
the
enough for
newsstand.
it?
We're
Yeah,
only
that's
talking,
the-
but hey, JJ, we're also talking just about the regular, not the newsstand. So then you also have the newsstand to add on to top of this. So
Yeah.
like,
Well,
hey, you asked what a shit ton is? Well, when you have only like 30 books in the census for a 9.8, and then all of a sudden it goes up to like 315, I'd say that's a shit ton.
All right,
Like,
let's
I mean,
move
when-
forward. Keep
When
going.
you're going
Really?
Yeah, I think it's
there
a
it
lot.
is. Okay.
24, they're 24, 25%. They're
I
almost
thought it
close
was
to 30.
closer to 30. But
800, lost a couple $100 on it. Not bad. The
only gained a little bit in the census. Look at that.
The census
and
was
more
up
books
big,
for sale.
9
and the only-
sales, so
Go
they
ahead.
go up there.
Yep.
The range, the low and the high are about the same, which is what we're seeing. So that's not surprising. The 775 there you saw as the low for the
Yeah, it's the
quarter.
average is maintaining.
Average is
Jeff,
right
you
there
can go
in the middle.
dinner. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry, Wayseeker.
Jedi, were you going to say something? Go on, Jedi.
I think he has to go dinner.
I got nothing to say. Nothing you want to hear. Just keep going.
You can go Jedi. If you got to go to dinner, you can, man. I'm sorry
you
this
wanna
run
be
long.
like, okay, you don't have to. You don't have
Yeah.
to linger if you don't want to.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would like to buy a copy of a 9.8 on this one. I don't know where that floor is going to be. I don't know if I'll have money to do it at the time, but
I thought I had one. I sent my best copy in, and it did not come back 9.8.
it's a hard 9.8.
And I'll agree with these two
There's
statements.
a
I
lot
think,
of 9.6s out there.
and we know Chad Cave and Joe have both been around for a long time in a lot of different cycles. Like I know Joe and Chad from before this channel, and I think I know Chad from like G Plus days. And like he's right, movie shows don't influence the price of books the way people think as much. And the other one is they do few these days. It has been worse in recent history, but the cycle has become very, very, very short in it. So like what JJ was saying,
Windows
what JJ
closed
saying,
quick.
I agree, but like I don't think that's going to make up the difference. But I think this is getting close. Like this is getting close to where we're going to find an evening. If I had to say in 2 quarters, would this be an evening out price in 2 quarters? Yeah, I think I'd be surprised if we start seeing lows under the 500.
I'm kind of surprised it's still growing on the census.
Oh, I'm not.
Yeah, people
You're
are
not?
still going to keep subbing this book.
No, I'm not at all.
And also-
That's well, you want to know why? Because people are trying to get out of it. This is why this book's going to take a hit next month, because I think people are trying to sub it real quickly to get rid of it so that they can get out of it.
I don't know if that's the case. I think it's just a matter of, I don't know. Like the market could be crazy. Like if something happens, all of a sudden, next week they announce, oh, you know what, Lars Mikkelsen is playing like Thrawn, and all of a sudden everybody wants to buy a copy. All the copies available will go. They'll be gone, and then that first one that's new will either set a new high, and then that will become a new benchmark that everybody maintains to, because one sold for 1,200, so we all have to sell for 1,200 now, right? Right. That's the new number, right? And whether that sale for 1,200 was real or not, people.
But no, the problem is the secondary.
Shenanigans can happen.
But Pete, the problem with that is the secondary sale after that first sale, the hypothetical $1,200 sale. The next sale is not $1,200 anymore. The next sale is $1,150. It might be up from $999.
But that's what I'm saying though, because now people in their heads think they're getting a discount at $1,150. It's all psychological. Like they
but it keeps dropping every book that sells
because somebody has, again, shenanigans.
Yeah, it's hard to say. This one's such a
Oh wait,
great
Wookie, that's not a waste. I think that's actually a good price.
I think it's a good buy. I think
that's a
35
real
is
good buy. I think it's a really good buy, man.
Newsstand's a little bit different too in this book.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not
it's
as
different.
easy as you think.
I haven't.
Since they started putting it on the label, CGC too.
Yeah, newsstand
Dom
is
is
as easy to
newsstand.
find as you think, and
Yep.
it's not as easy to find in high grade as you think. But not that I'm not trying to tell you to pay premium, because that's silly. But
I think you did good there, Wookie.
I got that with the figures too. The one that came with the.
Yeah, the reprint.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very good.
I have that
there
too.
you go.
Yep. All right, let's keep going.
Sticks is calling money laundering.
You gotta watch for it.
Now, before we get going with this book,
All right, go ahead, Dom.
What are we gonna do?
before we get going with this book has been really high on the market because of her appearance in The Mandalorian, her appearance in the Book of Boba Fett, all stuff like that, and all the craziness that has been out there. This and that. If we do get a young Ahsoka on screen with this book,
Why do you need a young one? What does
No,
that
that's
matter?
not going to change anything. No,
No, that would
a
change
younger
anything.
version of her is not going to.
So you mean that? So her as Rhaenyra Dawson as an older version of Ahsoka.
Right, but I don't think that matters.
It doesn't matter if
No.
Nothing else they will show us on screen will influence.
Jedi took off. Have a good dinner, Jedi.
Take care, Jedi.
I don't think the age of the character really. I mean, if you're talking like an old man Logan, like regular Wolverine situation, maybe, but that it's not that big a difference. And I mean, this
is the book that interests me the most. That when you're going to ask me what's happening with this book, I have no fucking clue. I wish it'd go up because then I'd dig it up and fucking sell it. However, this is the one that I don't think fouls any of the basic Marvel market rules that if you've listened to the last little bit, they've all followed. This is the one that will throw me for a loop. If I even guessed on it, I 100% am going to get this book wrong.
This is an albatross.
Yeah, I have this book does not, this is the book that makes no sense to me. Much like it just doesn't make sense to me. This book doesn't make sense to me.
It's down 18%.
I don't even, it could be down 40% or it could be up 30%.
I think 15%.
This is the fucking book that's weird that.
Well, not 15%. You got 15% there. But I think it's down in the 12% ish, in 12 to like 8, 19, 20%.
If it's a 20, listen, if the books, mind you, do understand what we're saying. If it's in that 25, if it's after 20%, if we've looked at all these books so far, all the ones that are 20% lower dropping are pump books. The ones that were stable were not pump books, in our opinion. The question is, if you think this is this a pump book or not? This is the book that confuses me. That I can't
over
figure.
A quarter? Is that what we're...
Yeah, it's over a quarter.
It's from
I'm gonna say
September
less
to
than 10.
now.
I'm gonna say 10, 10 or less.
It's September to now. September
say
15th
12.
to December 15th.
Yep.
So this is a healthy book at 10 to 12%. You're saying this is a healthy investment book in the Star Wars portfolio.
This is a tricky one. And again, I've
saying
said
it's
it a number
staying
of
with the
times.
regular
Mike
market
Morello,
correction.
thank you for convincing me to buy this when I did. Because he said, come on, go to every cosplay. Everybody's Ahsoka. Go buy it. I know it's $100 book. Just go get one. So I bought a Raw for $90 and ended up getting a 9.6. That's my copy. Thank you, Mike.
So here's the two things I'm going to say about this book. I have not figured if this is the last hold book of the hype books, or if this is really a fan-loved book. But I do not think it is going to go past the 20% marker.
As far as the drop, you mean?
Yeah, as far as the drop,
I'm 18.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't, because if it passes 20, it's a pump. Like, you can say what you want, but it's looking for where it's going to settle.
23 is kind of high, though.
That's what we saw in the fucking, yeah. So, like, I mean, I'm thinking in the
$200, so maybe I need to redo my math. But
all right, we ready to move on?
yeah, let's see what it is.
All
John
right.
says we're idiots, so.
Ooh.
Oh,
You're right. Your numbers, Peter. Math was wrong, but your numbers were right.
Holy shit!
14 sales, so we had that down.
Because of the price, Chad.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly,
look,
exactly
this is the
$500.
market don't fucking lie, bro. I don't know what people are saying here. The market don't. We didn't make this shit up. You can
Please go through
disagree.
the mode. What's the mode? You meant the mode. Oh yeah, you went the mode.
What's that?
Everybody, 22% down. The range there was 15 to 21, so this was a really big range on this one. And the census numbers there jumped by another
Holy
27 copies.
Holy fuck! Yeah, I mean, I don't see. That's what I'm still trying to figure this fucking book out. Like, I don't know. I think like I'm more scared of this book now that it's under 20%. I really am.
I'm not. I don't. I mean, that's over 20%. You mean?
Yeah, it's over 20%. Yeah.
To me, I look at this book like this is like the Miles Morales of the Star Wars universe. Like
it is.
It's.
Except for she's already here. She's here every day.
Yeah.
True.
Every rumor, every show, every cat. She's here all day long and dropping 22.
Maybe that's why it's dropping.
Maybe. But they just told me it wasn't. They just told me this isn't a hype book.
I mean, think of it this way: she has her own show coming out, but is that?
She's already showed up. She just had a
exactly. That's what
fucking
I'm trying to say. Like,
Diamond is all.
She had Tales of the Jedi come out during this thing too.
I want to Wayseeker, wait.
Could've.
I don't
Go,
think her
JJ.
animation would
A
drive
little
the
bit.
price anymore, though. I mean, there's enough of her in animation that
I get
a
that.
new
but
anime
still,
series
it's-
won't.
That was Dom's all Dom's conversation was all these things that was going to, and some of the people in the chat, all these things was going to keep this book up, and it went down 22.
I don't know. I don't know what to make of this
I
book.
think the
What
high.
do you think of this book? I'll be honest with you. You could criticize me for this because apparently we're not giving good analysis. I don't fucking know, JJ. I'll tell you that, Dom, everybody, and I think Wayseeker's doing the same thing. I don't fucking know. You want me to ask me my opinion on this book? I don't fucking know.
I will tell you what I know, and I'll tell you I think 23 is too high, but that's just a personal.
But it was 3. It was only
Valuation.
3 at one point. So this thing.
No,
That's what I'm
wasn't it?
saying. Those prices
Yeah, wasn't it
were,
free
were,
in the-
were
for
the
insane.
regular
Those were
copy?
way too
Yeah,
high.
we looked it up last. We did because I verified these last time we
we
went
paid
through.
over 3 for this.
The height was
The
like
height was
32.
25
It was
for
what?
this last quarter.
Yeah,
No,
nine
the height
sixes.
was like 32. Like a.
Oh, the real height. Yeah.
Yeah,
but now it's
nine
come down.
sixes were getting close to where this is at now. 9.6s were hitting like
Yeah.
14 to 16.
Yep. 1,000. Yep.
I don't know. I don't know where. I have no idea where the floor of this book could be. That's the hard
The-
part.
hey,
for me. I
Blue
would love to have one of these. 'cause I
T
love
guy.
Ahsoka.
You can say what you want, but the numbers are the truth.
I
floor?
want one of these copies. I don't have the budget for it right now, but I want one. I just have no idea what the floor is going to
Yeah,
be.
the
I have
floor
no
and the
idea where I'd
9.8.
buy it.
I mean, if you think the numbers are wrong, I suggest you buy this book currently at $1,500.
That's what I'm saying. 15, I think, is probably where it settled.
I'm not
settled,
fucking-
but where the bottom would
Dude,
be.
this book confuses me
Well-
so much. It's not the money for me. This
If
book
you-
confuses me so
Actually,
much.
if you
I
bought
don't.
it at 15 now, you'd be doing fine if the average sale price is 18.
Yeah, that's what I'm
With
saying.
fees, you wouldn't. No,
You're
no,
making
no,
it
no.
a 20%
Not,
profit.
no.
That's
You
not
actually,
terrible.
you actually wouldn't be doing that great with fees and
fees.
everything else.
No.
Yeah, you'd be losing
No,
money.
no, no. I'm not talking about reselling. I'm thinking about the cheapest price you'll probably be able to obtain this book.
You'd probably be losing like 3%.
I mean, the question, I guess, the question is, if you buy it in at like 15 now, does it continue to fall?
Yeah,
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it.
That's
it-
what I'm saying is I'm confused by this book because I didn't think it would fall this much. So
Ruben, I am not buying this book until after Ahsoka. I would like to buy this one. I'd rather pay
It's
more for it
direct.
after
Scott,
I
it's
have an idea
direct.
of where it's going. But I will not buy this book until Ahsoka starts.
I'll be honest,
You know
with the
what?
exception of owning a few of them already, the time to buy all these books from you has passed.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying anybody
If
buys.
it's booked on this list, it's passed.
Chad, that's a longer conversation. I agree and disagree with your statement.
You know
There-
what? If I'm going to buy this book, I would definitely go for the 1 in 1,000.
Why would you pay market price?
Would you? Well, fuck you. You got $5,000.
You know what? Because I think that has a longer.
Dom, you have $5,000 because that's what a
Yeah,
one in one
you can't afford
thousand
that.
is going to fucking cost you.
and that's a
9.8.
raw copy.
I actually think
that's
no.
9.8. 9.8 now is going for about 7.
I understand what he's saying on that. I don't think that. Yeah, look behind him. If he got rid of that shit, he could afford a $5,000 book. You know, I mean, I think that's not like if we're doing hypotheticals on this, like $5,000 isn't that out of pocket for a comic book. Nor is $1,500 for this book.
It's
I'm
a
saying
modern
if-
comic book.
It
though.
is, but it
Oh,
isn't.
stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not paying that for it. I'm just saying that we can't knock all the sales on it or say, "Oh, it's ridiculous."
For a
People are paying that.
15-year-old comic book or whatever. That's pretty.
It
pretty
is.
out
It's
of pocket.
expensive.
It is
Yeah.
what it is.
It is. I don't know. I will be tracking this book, and I will be interested to see what
Please do,
happens.
because I'm confused by this book too. And BK is ripping on you for never paying market price. I got to give you.
No,
I got to give you.
He
Hey,
got
that-
ripping on me.
No, you
That's
never
cool.
want to pay market.
Giving you Don't ever pay market price. Get out of here, BK. Good to see you, by the way, BK. Have a happy New Year's, man. Also,
We got 3 more, and they're the 3 big ones.
No. That's pops.
these are accurate. These are like Wayseeker. Is this as of the last 7 days? You pulled all these
This was
numbers.
as of the 15th of December.
15th,
15th of
I
December.
went from 15th to 15th. We just didn't have a show to do it on the Christmas one.
Yep. Yep.
So we would have done it last week if we had a live show.
But we wanted to do it live so you guys could add in. Yep.
But it didn't make sense to do it during the pre-recorded one.
Yep. Okay. Well,
right.
let's keep
We'll
going.
do
I
it
mean,
the
there's no-
15th, and we'll do it through. It'll be March 15th.
No, people want to know, so it's good.
Yeah, no sense belaboring the point.
Hey,
though, on
please,
Ahsoka.
and
We've
please don't send us hate mail because you don't like the numbers. Like, I don't care. Really, I don't care.
It's
You're
the
just gonna
market.
get muted.
The
Yeah,
market is the market.
Hey, you can argue with my opinion, but you can't argue with the numbers.
Yep.
All right, go ahead.
This is definitely down.
Gotta be.
Definitely down.
Oh, that was way down. I can't believe it's that high in Q3.
I know. That's
Well,
all.
we had that one really low sell too. That
You had one low sale.
Q3 range 30 some more.
Yeah.
$3,700.
Yeah.
and that person bought 1150. That
No,
was a
but
big buy.
if I was correct, the outlier wasn't the 3750. The outlier was the 1150
The
on this
outlier
book.
was the 1150.
The outlier was 1150. There was like a 3200 books.
There was.
By math, no, not really.
Huh?
Well,
They're both
outlier
about the
was.
same amount of money away from the average.
Yeah, but there was
No.
more.
Yeah, we get what you're saying there,
I
but there's
can go
more.
back to the numbers.
There's more in the $2,200 range than there was in the.
sales
Yeah, it's not a lot of sales. Yeah.
in 9.8. Let's be fair, 9.8. Yeah. I'm with Ruben. I think Ruben's spot on. I think we're right around 25%.
No, even more than that.
You should know every sale.
As far as drop for this, I think you're talking like 30% at least.
I actually think it's 25%.
At least.
I'll say 25.
Yeah, I think 25 seems right to me.
I think this book has always been the bane of people's existence for some reason and never gets the right pub it should compared to other books. And I have to say, I think we're getting a 25% drop in this book. I don't think it's right. I think this is a book that should be at the 12, the 15 or less, but I just don't see it. I don't see that happening.
Oh, 50% or less?
15%, 15% or less.
Are you ready?
9.8.
Are you ready to move on?
Move on. Yes.
Move on.
17.
Wow.
125. We had only three sales though. But
less sales. Okay. Yeah,
the
fair.
range there was really tight, for considering 1725
Nice.
to 2250.
Yes.
The census went up by 6 copies, so pretty stable. But it was under that 20% mark that Mark was talking about.
Yeah, what it's telling me is what I'm
Nice.
thinking. What I'm thinking is this is like, this book's probably $2,000.
Let me ask you a question now.
So this book is actually settling where it should be set. You just heard my long speech. Go ahead, Todd.
Yeah,
Sorry, Dom.
Yeah.
Real quick, this book, right? Think about it as it's Star Wars book, modern age, like Hulk 181.
Bronze. Yeah.
Think about it. That Boba Fett is a popular character, and the more they show him in stuff, the more people are gonna try to buy his stuff. And like Wolverine became popular.
I know you want to point Wolverine.
Not Wolverine. What's the best book that could really besides Billy like
Punisher?
Marvel? Punisher, or what about Venom?
No, I actually think, Dom, no offense, but I think the thing you said at the beginning that everybody didn't hear behind the scenes, the numbers point to the fact that that's why we were laughing so hard, because this is the book. And this is just placating that this is the book improving. Finally, this is the book. And I think that, as much as some people want to knock the pandemic and what came out of it, some of these books that are less than 20%, dropping less than 20%, are showing us this is not all new doom and gloom. I would like to reiterate, we're not here laughing at people who probably pay too much. We're not trying to make a big storyline or make some big narrative here. We're saying this is positive, by the way. This percentage
dipping only 70% is a positive.
There is this because it's better than the majority of the comic book market at this point, and it's also proving that in certain books, this is a winner book, and this should be a winner book. In our opinion, at least, this should be a winner book. And I think some people in chat would think the same thing. This is a winner, WINNER, not winter like the bullshit's going on.
Regardless of the fact on how shitty Book of Boba Fett was, he's still a popular character.
That's dumb. That's so far away now, I think.
But that's another thing. All that other stuff that you guys have been sold over the last 2 years of what makes the marketplace. Obviously, we're seeing with these books that are 920, that shit does not matter. That Chad was the hype I was talking about. It doesn't matter.
I need to get this in a 9.8.
You what, JJ? But the numbers are there.
No, I was gonna say, for something like the failure of the Book of Boba Fett as a show, I don't think matters to the price of this book so much.
It doesn't.
I mean, it was on its way up well before that. That may have been when it hit its peak. I don't know when this book really peaked. Probably somewhere around there, I guess.
Yeah,
But-
it was like 4K, 445 maybe even the beat.
Well, it was before that. It was before the show came out.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
newsstand. I think
probably when
right
the show was
when
announced
During
or
Mando
trailer
or
or something, I
whatever,
don't know.
right?
The newsstand was up there, and also the Monk Jewelers.
But Dom has a point in the fact that I think he overshoots on a character like Wolverine. But when there's a popular character, and in Star Wars, a lot of times that is the villains. The popular character.
Agreed.
Once that book goes up to a certain height, it doesn't fall. It doesn't have that meteoric meteoric drop that like a minor character.
They put a peg. They put
Which
a peg in the drop.
we're all saying the same thing, JJ. I think we're all saying. I think
Yeah.
we're all saying the same thing.
I'm just saying, in relation to the show as a failure, I don't think that matters.
Yeah,
that much.
agreed.
No,
Agreed.
no,
Agreed. I think I agree with that. I think I was saying the same
All
thing.
kidding aside, the newer people who were getting into Star Wars, they enjoyed it. A lot of people enjoyed it, even though
Mm.
But that doesn't matter.
We're
It
doing
doesn't
a
matter in relation to the price
not
of the book. is what we're
show,
saying.
but
But I'm
Dom,
just saying, but the more new people coming to the thing, these books will have even
But-
more. Like the Boba Fett book, people will go out and buy this book.
Yeah,
They
well,
want
all
it.
I'm saying is Book of Fett doesn't matter. Book of Boba Fett doesn't matter because Star Wars, Lucasfilm, they're still going to pump out how many new
Dom,
pop, how many comic books is he
People-
going to show up in? He said Book of Fett.
your
You know, the
And those new
Dawn,
people, they're not buying 9/8 though.
hey,
Dom.
Dom, your favorite character, just to secure, just to let you know, your favorite character, no matter what they fucking put out, will be always in the top 5 of favorite characters in Star Wars
Yes.
forever.
And the evidence of that is Book of Fett. The shit they gave us with Book of
Yes.
Fett, he survived.
Forever.
And he will always survive. He will
Hey,
always-
no matter how many L's you put up in life, you still are on the W train forever because of Boba Fett.
and a lot of those other
Survived
characters,
the
that's not
shittiest
true. Like
fucking
I love
monologue you
Ventress.
ever found. The goddamn
Ventress isn't in that category.
Wolfman
Where like you could,
twins.
if Ventress had a bad show, Ventress would tank. That is always going to be
I
fine.
don't know about that. I don't know if that was the case
I
for
don't know.
Ventress. I mean, if she's gotten to, if that book's
Ventress,
gotten to the
yeah,
heights
they-
that it has
They could kill
already,
Ventress.
Yeah.
I don't know that it would tank them. I would think it would be.
I don't
similar
think
to
it
this
is.
book.
That's what I'm saying. I think the mark
I don't
the
know.
marker
I don't know. I look at somebody. Maybe Ventress would be better than somebody.
the
like
Ventress book. I thought you talked about this book. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't
We
know.
already covered Ventress.
No, I'm
Go.
I'm sorry. Ready? Who's talking?
John, Boba Fett universally, it's a fucking. The whole Mandalorians are just knockoff fucking Boba Fett's. It's
Everybody, exactly.
universally-
The
Every
whole
every
goddamn
Mandalorian that you know,
species.
Nah,
Oh,
nah, we get
All
it.
right,
He's a top 5.
we got two
By the
more.
way,
Come on, let's go.
All right, Star Wars 2. First
I-
movie. Well,
This is what I'll tell you. Can I tell you about this book? I think this book was way undervalued for the longest time. Then got people like, fuck, this book is undervalued. And then went fucking ass crazy. So highly ass crazy that I don't think it's going to be a continuous fucking drop. But I think we're in for a big drop on this one. I think it's going to be like 8 sales and like
No.
40%.
Look
No?
at
I
this
think less than that.
census is
Why was
so
there only?
small. That's the
Oh, yeah.
hard part for me, Margo.
Yeah.
This is the smallest one on the census of all the books.
No.
I think it's 23% drop.
I think it's the fact that you're only 2 sales in the third quarter. Like how small of a sample size are we getting here?
We are getting really
It's-
small. with this
it's-
book.
it's- Hey,
This is
it's
almost
only-
too small to make an accurate measure.
Well, there's got to be one sale, and it's going to be for like 2,500.
But once again, answering John's question was like a bunch. Like the Thrawn had over twice as many fucking copies of this in the 9.8.
If this
And
book
going
only sold 2 copies after there was an Obi-Wan Kenobi TV series, I'm surprised if it's going to reach 1 copy sold. In the last
Yeah.
quarter.
No, I think people get out. I don't because I think people try to get out of this book. I think people try to get out. I think that's where we're participating in the full market. Like we're not just trying to understand what we think's happening. Like we're trying to look at the market as a whole. And I believe that probably we get 4 to 6 sales on this because people are trying to get out of this book.
You missed that angle that we've also been covering with this. It's not just the buyer's market. Hey, a show, this, that, people want to buy. It's also the people who are holding that now it's like, oh shit, I'm broke. I need
6.8%. Awesome.
Bells.
Give him the bell. Give him the bell. 6.8%, dude. That's a good one. All right. What
All
else?
right. Are we ready for the numbers?
Yep.
30.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that.
Oh,
1 sale.
wow.
How about that?
Weird.
Yeah, it's only one sale.
One sale though.
It's still
one
got a
full
sale. Yeah, one sale.
30, 50.
Weird. Who said there would only be 1 sale? What?
Yeah,
I
but that
said
doesn't
there'd be
mean.
one sale, too.
Yeah, that doesn't mean there's not more than one book up. That means only one
I thought it was
sold.
gonna be 2,500.
It means there's no demand for the book.
But again,
Nobody wants to buy it.
no, there's a lot of sales in the 9.6.
No.
There's just not very many 9.8.
But somebody-
There's not very many 9.8s. There's not a lot of 9.8s.
And
But
somebody
the demand-
paid
That's what I'm
33
saying.
times.
It's just like the last book. The demand to buy the book, people are tightening. The demand to buy the book is dropping. Like when you have a book like this, demand was at its height 6 months ago, not now. The
There
number
is,
of
but JJ,
sales is going
the
to
Not how that
difference is
works.
9.8 in this book from 1977 isn't easy to come by these days as getting like a
It's-
Clone Wars 1 or
Yeah, that's true.
like it's tougher. It's just there's not as many. So that's why I didn't think about that.
It was 30 cents, Darth
Yeah.
Ruben.
Yep. We only went with that one.
Ryan, this was through the 15th. So if there was a 5K, first off, if there was a 5K sale, get the fuck out of here. Number two, I smell bullshit. Like, but that also defeats JJ's thing. I mean, I don't know. I can't believe this is only 12%.
I haven't looked at the numbers since I did this, and I only looked through the 15th because I didn't want to mess with my head. Like,
I mean, I'm not saying that you're not right. I'm not saying you're not right, Ryan.
It could have happened. We'll find out next quarter. That would really make this.
I'm saying I hope we're not talking to the buyer.
Yeah,
General
7585.
General question too. I wonder, like, when you get to these older books where we see the smaller number of sales, do you think because some of them are selling at things like shows or even like at a Heritage or something like that, where it's a little more?
That doesn't mean there's no demand. Low bid, high.
No. Yeah. I don't think that many are selling at Heritage. Maybe shows.
Yeah, I don't know. I never check Heritage because I can never afford to.
They haven't been moving at the shows I've been going to.
Yeah. Though I will
Oh.
say there is a huge.
That'd be no
drop-off.
demand for the price.
Wait, to be fair, the $5,000 sale actually was accepted best offer price at $4,000, which is still a
4,000.
shit ton.
That
But
is
it's
still a
still
shit
a
ton.
$4,000 sale.
Which puts
Not
it back up into the range, which then if you do the range between the two, which you'll have it next quarter, so we already ruined next quarter, but that's really good news. That's fucking hugely good news.
It
Well,
depends because if you just look at eBay will show 5,000. If you look at the eBay,
I will
I'm saying
always
like
do-
the four.
I will
I've
always
seen
do the
it sold
best
for
offer.
4.
I always will do the best offer when my things are because TerraPeak gives you the actual price it sells at.
I
So
think these prices.
but
will
what I'm
stay.
saying, if you look at the sale price on eBay, it doesn't say that a best offer is accepted. You just have to guess that. Wait a second, let me check this first.
Okay.
Oh,
Who wants
check
to
it.
bet
You
that
have
was
the strike through price to say.
When it
best
starts to
offer
get to
is
silver,
accepted,
I still like a 6.0. 6.0s look beautiful in silver.
but a
age,
best
dude.
offer was accepted for.
Who wants to
Yeah.
bet that was like a late Christmas gift?
it could have been, but still, like, that's a great big gift. Though there is a huge drop off, and like you can buy like a 9.4 of this for like
Oh, cheap, yeah.
$600, maybe $500. I thought I was looking at. So it's like it's a massive differential between a 9.4 and a 9.8 in this book.
Wonder what the census difference is.
So I don't know if that's normal, but I did notice that with this book, and I was looking at 9.4s personally. I was like, "Oh, this one's like 500 or under 500." So
Whenever you find
That's-
like a collection too, two is always more beat up than one.
It is.
Which is
It's always
weird,
in
given
shit
that one
shape.
has the black cover, but yeah, two's always more beat
Yeah.
up.
Well, because I think people took more care of one because it was the one, which was around that
It was
time.
issue 1. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
2 just got shed on.
we got one more. We all know what it
Coulda.
is.
Coulda. Oh, it's 1. Jesus
Star Wars
Christ.
1.
I think this has got to have taken a dip, right?
I
Wait,
don't
is
know.
this Wait, is this the
40
newsstand or the direct?
Wait, what were you at,
Just-
JJ? You were
we
asking
we
9.4.
don't differentiate newsstand and direct.
I'm
before
just joking.
1990.
Yeah, there's only one.
Yeah, JJ, real quick, 9.4s. There are 659 9.4s to the 100.
We don't do
whatever,
price
the
difference.
9.8
Yep.
in
I
two.
think
There's no
it's a drop off.
differentiating between newsstand and those before 1990 because of how common the newsstands are. So this is 48, 36. There's also just not enough sales to differentiate.
Black BK is in BK from John's got me
4
confused.
total sales. The range there was again 45 to 5, and there were 723. So a lot.
Oh, wait a
more
minute.
census.
Right
Very
at
more on census.
time out. There's a lot more on census, but after I just saw the number 2 sell for fucking $4,000. Oh well, it's still on the 15th.
No,
So
I say 10%.
loss.
Yeah.
So the under under the 20%.
Yep. Under 20%.
Yeah,
I'm
fuck
at
it.
20.
Yeah, I'm right around 20.
15, maybe. I don't know.
This
Yeah,
is going to
15
be
would.
like 3,900.
I know the 9.6s because I had one to sell and I was keeping my. They didn't dip that much, so I don't think the 90s. would dip
Okay,
too much.
yeah. Thank you for the insight. Now that JJ just said that, I'm staying with the 15 to under 20. All right.
Just under $4,000.
Wow, look at that. Nice.
Wow.
And more
Seven-
sales.
seven
And
sales,
more
too.
sales.
A lot more sales.
Yeah,
Comparatively.
yeah, almost double. Nice. And more numbers on the census. Wow, good book.
That's crazy that people are
This
still
this
subbing.
is fucking. This is actually a way seeker. This is making me very happy because this market, for the most part, especially on books that I have been talking about for a while, have done very well.
There's a stupid price difference in this too. You mentioned the price difference 9.6 to 9.8.
Yeah,
For the last one,
There is
it's
a
like
huge difference.
$3,000.
yeah.
No, but
Yeah.
aren't you curious about somebody in the one quarter we've gone over, the quarter difference that what is that? Like 18, 17 copies got submitted to CGC in that one quarter. Are these all resubs? Do you think these are 9.6 pressed and
No,
submitted, or people just been holding raw copies for fucking 45 fucking years, deciding now's the time.
oh, maybe some people
That's a
bail.
big-
Now's what
I
I'm
agree.
mailing this sumbitch in.
I noticed that. Yeah.
It's some bitch.
I also think CGC had a lot of backlog that they cleared up over this.
I think it would be a combination of backlog and that people finally were like, I'm not going to wait 8 months to a year for my book. But now that it's like
It's quick.
You know, 7 days, 8 days, 12 days.
Well, when do
14
they
days.
do the? When do they do? I mean,
And they had more
What's
online
the- what's-
night solutions.
what's the? I guess majority of the cons they appear at aren't they kind of in like the back half of the year too?
A lot of the pickups they
Yeah,
were.
that's what I mean.
Yep.
Yeah, drop offs
there's
and
not a
pickups.
ton.
That's what I say, drop offs and pickups. That's what I was trying to get at. Yeah, drop off and pickups. So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right.
no, well, I mean, John, that's the difference between an investment book and like just something you're trying to get rid of. You know, is like an investment book. For his whole comment, he's asking like, is it really worth picking up a book anymore if you can't get it at a high grade, or if it's like Avengers? It is, but I mean, the point is to get it at a high grade. But even the lower grades will move up with the higher grades when the higher grades are done off. But like, it's not, you're not selling this book. Like when you buy these, even at like, I mean, I still wouldn't buy this at 12%. I would still let it go down, maybe double this if you're considering investing in it. But then you just like, you buy it at that point and then you put it away in a lockbox or in a, someplace, and you just let it sit for 10 years, 5 years.
Yeah,
6 years.
it really depends on the book you're talking about too.
Yeah.
'cause, I mean, this is not Star Wars related, but I'll just give this example.
Hey, the buff guy.
Me buying a
Very good
Fantastic
point.
448 because I'm a big Silver Surfer fan. I bought what I could afford, which was a raw, lower grade, beat up looking fucking copy of 48. I think I paid $250 for it. And it ended up being like a 2.5, but a 2.5 of that book now, it's probably like $1,400.
Well, I think
Everything gets carried up, like everything gets caught up in the ground.
You know what?
9/8 and the higher.
Star
grade
Wars is
up.
that realm too, where
Everything
it's
carries
hard to
up.
compare to like Marvel, and the fact that there is almost no Star Wars book in a 9.8 that you can get anywhere closest to.
No, there's not even
yes,
enough. That's the
Oh,
interest.
well, there's
The interest forever. The only thing that's weird with this market is like the interest has been so low in Star Wars comics for so many years, and I think that's why it was so easy to manipulate the market, or at least to sell people on stuff that probably shouldn't have been selling. That now you're trying. Like, I think Wayseeker, thank you very much for this because I think it's very educational.
Thank you.
I got one more slide for us after this.
Okay, but I think it has shown us like where a lot of the books where we're like, oh, this was an undervalued book forever. I don't know what's going to happen, or I think it's going to be here because it was undervalued. It seemed to turn out that way. We're not fucking geniuses. Like if you've been following it for a long time, we just, it's not like picking the lottery ticket. There are certain aspects to this where you could have seen some of this coming. So
Yeah,
Please,
you
you
gotta
gotta-
watch when people start pushing like, oh well, they have fucking Quinlan Voss. You gotta have that. You gotta have Ayla Sakura. Yeah, sure. You gotta have that
Look.
too. Like, there's a lot.
hey,
of
don't you
characters
fucking
that-
knock my Quinlan Voss though. I like that cat.
I do
But
like
there was
it
a
too,
lot of
but
We do like
There's
it's
Quinlan
not on the
Voss,
same
but
level of Ahsoka. Let's just
No, he's not on the level of Ahsoka by any chance. Stretch of the imagination.
let
Yeah.
people
If you want
try.
these books for your personal collection, it doesn't matter. You have them in your collection because you want them, because you enjoy them, not because you want
Yeah.
to sell them.
Yeah, but you also should get ripped off.
You shouldn't get ripped off.
No, I know you
also,
shouldn't
think
get ripped
these
off.
books show you the health of the market better than the other books because, I mean, not all of them. It was really hard to get 10 because, like, you can really argue about 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 pretty easy. But, like,
Yeah,
the top 5 and 6 are pretty solid. Like, you know what those are. So, but after that, so yeah, here's
What the hell is that?
People
What's a
wanted to
what's
start-
a Yamato pick?
people wanted to
It's an
chart.
old
I didn't
anime.
chart. I didn't do it
Based
for all
off
of them.
Yamato.
But here you see if you owed all 10 books, last quarter the average price was
Ooh.
16,000.
ETF.
And And so now, if you had an ETF and you had the 10 books, you'd be at.
If you actually did
14.
give him this, oh, this is hilarious.
My retirement.
Awesome. Good job. He was asking for what's his name. He was asking for this shit.
That still may be better than my 401k.
That's actually really good.
Yeah.
Alfonso, look what he gave you. Alfonso, look what he gave you. Bud.
Alfonso's gone because I didn't give him enough information.
Damn it. No, he's still here. Alfonso, he gave you the graphs. My man. This actually, because especially considering those 2 books fucking were such shitters. Like, I think when we were originally going over this, we were kind of deciding like how we were going to do 10 books, and we kind of wanted it to make. I actually think I was against the Mace Windu book, but Wayseeker really voted for that one in. But the rest of them, we were pretty even on there because we didn't want to like set it a wrong way. We wanted to take books that were popular, and I think I was a big proponent for 2, which I'm surprised. I'll be honest. I was surprised with that book. Obviously, the Ahsoka book, I've said that before. I'm confused by that book, so I want to see what that is. I hope it helps other people out. We're not trying to knock anybody who or what they paid for it. We were just trying to like, wow, it's kind of crazy, right? Like this market has been, and to be honest with you, out of these 10 books that we picked, if you only lost $2,700 on these books, I'd have to say overall compared to the rest of the market, if you pick 10 other books from the rest of the entire market, I'm not sure if you're going to do that good on that, which is surprising.
Fair point.
Yeah.
Like of the same stature, like not, I mean, you know what I mean? Like of the same like hype stature or whatever it is. So Dom?
I mean, you look at anything across like the board. You look even like I mentioned X23 earlier. I mean, that was 2K98 for a while again, and now you can probably catch that for 1,600. So things are dropping.
Regardless of the fact of what people say about things, comic books, if you do it right, you definitely can have a longevity money wise, and it's better than your own pension and your own freaking 401k.
Not mine.
Well, like say if you like, look, if people who took money out of their 401k and got like Fantastic Four #1 or like the X-Men #1 when they were at the
Dom, we can't. Dom, hold on.
Don't tell people to do that.
We can't do that. That's going to get us in trouble on YouTube. We can't. You can't. What you're going to say right now, you cannot say. I'm going to mute you because this will get us on trouble. I'm not trying to be rude. You're going to get us in trouble. You're going to get us in trouble.
To pivot, John Sanders has a good question.
Yeah, I want to go to John Sanders because I'm sorry, Dom. I'm not trying to be rude. It's just one of those violation rules that we can't break.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately.
All right.
Yeah, no, we were good. For the 10 books. Yeah, so this is the thing, John. This is kind of, I want to get back to this point because I know you kind of asked it earlier. I know Chad kind of answered it. I kind of made a retort to John about certain books being in a 6. This is what I would tell you. If you're going to buy them encapsulated, I'm not, so like a 5, I would never buy brittle pages. But like, you know, when you go down the owl chart, and you start get tanning in there, you know, or maybe like, you can get a book that a small corner section of the ad was taken out, but it wasn't story induced, because that's what you're talking about in 5 or 6. The front can look very good. The display factor of the collectible can look very good, and you can get it in that 5 to 6 range. Yeah. I mean, you could get to 6 range with some like weird stuff on the back, maybe some ticking on the sides, but like the overall presentation can look phenomenal. And by the way, the price on that book, 5 is going to get you more. Because 6 has always been a level setter. You know, 9.8 is a level setter, 9.6 is another level setter, 8.0 is a level setter, 6 is a level setter, 4 is a level 3.5, 4 is a level setter.
I got a good example for your story for what you're saying.
Please do.
This is my example. A few years ago, I bought a Hulk 181 raw because it was missing a chunk off the back cover. Like there was a tear, like they ripped off like a little, almost like an 1.5 inch, like little piece, like a square. Like they ripped off, they probably wrote like a phone number or some shit on it. But that piece was missing. I bought a raw Hulk 181 for $6 close to $700. I sent it in to get graded. The highest you can get graded with having that much missing out of the back cover is a 2.5. But the front cover, when you look at it, it presents like a 7 to 8. 7 to 8. Like the front is beautiful. It's just the back has a little thing missing. I bought that because 1, that's the most I could afford, and 2, it looks good. Yeah. Yes, it's only a 2.5.
Presentation.
Get it graded, but I'm fine with it missing a little piece of the back cover. It doesn't
Shot-
affect the story,
yeah.
doesn't affect the book. The MVS is still in there. Everything is how I want it. It's just missing a little piece.
to me,
If
the way
that's
I like,
paid, that's a deal. Because a
A lot of these
2.5 in that book
books-
now is still like $2 to $3 grand.
a lot of these books are great buys at like a low grade too, like at a mid grade,
Yeah,
like
I'm
raw.
not afraid
agree.
of low grade.
like
Not
a mid grade
afraid.
raw
for the
is,
PC.
I mean, yeah. But
So I
if you're
guess
buying like Marco said,
What did I say? Did I say something? Can I just
no,
not hear?
it was me.
Okay,
is it me?
sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was
Okay,
gonna
go.
say, if you're buying in at like a 5, like raw or something like that, just make sure it's complete
Yeah.
before you buy it. You know, you don't want to buy, even if it's like, if you see like a steal of a deal, like if you see a Star Wars one that looks really nice on the outside, maybe has a rip or something on the back or something like that, and somebody's asking like $50 for a raw, count your pages, make sure it's complete,
Yeah.
make sure the book's there, because you don't want to pay $50 for an incomplete copy because it's
Oh
never
yeah, I do that shit all the time. I've never, I get yelled at by Sean all the time. I never fucking count pages. But
Well.
so this is my only other advice. I don't know where you are, John, but like you could probably go to, if you can find, considering I don't think it's immediate buys for you, I would either grab a couple raws that aren't too expensive and grade them and see which grade you kind of like and what they're doing with different defects on them.
Well, don't
Because,
get
like,
5.0 like fucking Kanan 6s. Like, don't get
No.
modern 5.
Oh yeah.
No.
No. But so
No,
like when we were doing the big burn and turn flips at like on-site grading for Silver Age, what we would do is we would base off cover, especially because a lot of them had famous artist covers, and we'd rank the cover on what we thought the cover looked like. Then we would grade the book. So like, let's say the book was only a 5.0, but the cover was an 8.0. We're buying that book because we're pricing it at a 5.0 price, but we know we're going to sell it faster than we normally would. That's kind of my only suggestion on it. That might not be the case for you. You might not mind a tear on the back or a stain or something like that, but this is just what we would do. And it worked for us for many years with on-site grading, because at that point when we were on-site grading, we could not press, we could not correct anything. It was kind of just like you're taking a book from a vendor and you're getting it, and then we're putting it so that we don't have to up the insurance. We're putting it online while we're at the show. Okay. That's what we did, but you have to get an eye for like what you know the defects are going to be around that time. And typically that would even out to 6.0, and we sold a lot of 6.0, 6.5s in like, because there was the on-site grading
Well, you
bump,
see,
and that's
like-
kind of how we went with it.
You see, like the Hulk 181, the stamp. The stamp is a big thing in
MVP,
that book.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you don't get that a lot in Star Wars, though. He's asking about Star Wars books.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
this-
That's why I don't want
There's something. All right, the Mark Jeweler. If there's a Mark Jeweler insert that's in a Star Wars book,
If that matters to him, yeah.
if it, yeah, exactly.
But if it doesn't, he could save a lot of money by not buying that.
Yeah,
You
it's
know?
true.
Right.
So-
You don't
Yeah.
pay that premium if it's
That's what I was saying. So, like, go around and try to like figure out what you like kind of what Chad was saying. Find out what you personally dig in that type of stuff, and then you'll get a better feeling for it. But I'm a great savvy. All right. Yeah, but that's it. So like, I mean, that's kind of where my opinion, and I think Chad, even though joking at the end, got a half a bell on that one. That's kind of where it goes. That's how I've always presented myself as a buyer and a seller. But I don't. I mean, in my PC is a different situation. So
That's what I'm saying. It depends on why you're buying. It's buying for investment purposes.
And you don't have to
flipping
grade for
purposes,
personal
selling, whatever.
collection.
It's different than
I mean,
Yeah.
let's throw that out there. You don't have to get it graded for your personal collection either.
exactly.
There are ways to encapsulate a book where you don't necessarily have to send it in to CGC and pay them $40 to do it.
I agree. Marco wouldn't say it too. What?
Hmm?
I don't know what that means. I'm sorry, John. I'm misunderstanding what you said. He said, I agree. Marco wouldn't say it too. What wouldn't I say?
I think it's probably not to
I
you.
think
he's talking about
I think him and
Which
Chad are
three?
talking
Maybe?
back and forth.
Yeah.
in chat.
Oh,
I think he's talking to Chad.
Ruben asked what top three to get graded. Maybe he's talking about that one. I don't know.
Ruben, what
Oh.
to get graded right now?
I think I'd go with the Star Wars 1, Star Wars 2, and Star Wars 42.
The list,
If
the
they're
top
higher,
10?
if they're a higher grade.
The top 10? Is that what we're asking about, or overall?
I think he said he owns all of the top
Out
10.
of the list of 10
10?
that we just
Yeah.
went over.
Well, to be honest with you, if you could get, because you can buy them raw, if you could get Jedi vs. Sith, I'm just thinking about the buy-in from our chat.
No, not for
Right.
not for selling.
Wait, what?
I'm saying not for selling purposes. If you had all these books already.
If you
in your
own all these
collection,
books.
He owns all of them.
Oh yeah, if you own
you're
all
like
those
me-
books,
then what 3 do you get graded? Just
what 3 do you get graded? You get 1 graded. You get
I
fucking
get 1 Clone Wars 1 probably.
Nah, I don't know. I think you
Oh,
get
no.
Star Wars 1. I think you get Star Wars 1. You get
42
42 for sure. 42 and a 9.8 for
Yeah,
sure.
I think it's
All day.
142 and Clone Wars 1 are the 3 I would send in.
Clone
personally.
Wars
That's
1.
me.
Yep.
Clone Wars 1.
I'd go in 1, 2, and 42 personally. If I own them all and they're good grade, I'd go to the top those 3. Especially 2 because there's not very many on census.
I'm gonna be the outlier and say Heir to the Empire if you haven't graded it yet.
I
Hmm.
think they're pretty harsh on that one though.
They are hard.
You know-
Well,
you wanna
harsh
know
on
what?
Clone Wars 1?
I have both of them. You know which one I'm keeping though for some reason? I know it's fucking stupid. I know it's way the fuck overpriced. Is that Matina? I don't know why I'm
No, you
keeping
and your
that fucking.
Matina.
I know, I love it though. So like because I love that one so much, I'm not. I mean, if I didn't love that as much, I think I'd be in the Heir category.
No, Air is tough because
Walker,
it has
you got
that
that graded?
cardstock cover, and
Yeah,
you think
Matina?
it looks. You're like, hey, there's no
What
spine
book?
ticks, corners are sharp, and then you don't think about it. There's
The-
a little rub
the
down the
Thrawn?
spine, like
There's always on the side.
Matina?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Matina down?
no.
Yeah, I was the first person on the census to have a 9.8 Matina.
That's awesome.
In that book.
That's one book I would love to have. My
Because I
collection.
got it, and then I was at on-site grading, and there's a story behind it. But I fucking.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't when that book came out. I didn't like it. I'm like, what the fuck do I want a close up of his face for?
Someone
I
had
didn't
it.
like
I
it.
loved
I'm like,
it.
I'm not
Back
paying
in the day, in the
250
comic
price
shop,
for
50
that.
bucks they had it on the wall.
Big
$50.
zoom in on his nose.
I didn't pay 50. No, you know what? No, I paid for it
No,
because
I
it
know,
wasn't
but you
50
know what
bucks.
I'm saying.
No,
My thing
Dom,
is-
it was under ratio, and
Really?
literally it came down to we were at our 50 on-site max, and it was either a book at the time. I mean, I lost $300 because the book that if we would have graded, we would have sold for $300, but instead I called I was like, dude, fuck it. And Sean's like, you don't ever put in personals, so why don't you just put in a personal and put in personal for that? Came out 9.8. First one on the census.
Nice.
People were like, why the fuck are you grading it's a bunch of Silver Age in a fucking modern book. Like it was the crazy
but
Yeah,
shit.
no, I know,
That's crazy.
There was a shop that I could have gotten. I think it was $30. I think it was on the wall. It was my
Those
buddy.
are the good
he
old
owns
days when
it
you
now.
get
He didn't own
Star
it
Wars
then.
variants below
ratio.
That's what
Like
I was
half price.
buying those. I bought all the Vader 1 in 25 for like $10 or $12. And I was like, yeah, sure. The first run of Vader. So
Those
like
days
1,
might
2,
be
3,
coming
4,
back,
5. I bought them all.
JJ.
Oh,
Those
you're
days
welcome, John.
Might be coming back to where you
Yeah.
get under ratio.
Because we
I
just
don't know if
mentioned
it- I don't know if you ever get them as low as you used to get them though.
Maybe
I don't
not.
know. The 125 for the book that just came out for Blade is selling for $6, bro.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Dom got one for 15. Yeah.
This today is a different market than it was then because of store exclusives.
I remember getting that Brooks Vader one, Volume 2.
Hmm.
It was 1 in 50, right? I think the Brooks was.
150. Yeah.
Yeah,
Store
I got
exclusives
that for
throw
like
all of the numbers off to me.
I swear
now.
like $23 or something. Like it was.
That's
Get
such
the
a good
bounty
buy.
hunter.
That one used to be.
BK, you have to grade one. It census put ones in the chat if BK's wrong because he doesn't have one there. I think he just fell on his head and forgot. But give him the one in the chat for BK.
The Boba Fett cover, the one that's in the
I don't know what this is in relation
one,
to.
Yes, that's about his comment above. His comment above about the poster removed.
I want to get a 9.8 in the Boba Fett cover.
Okay.
The Bounty Hunter book.
I have that one too. I never graded that one.
I have a regular copy, a raw copy, but I
I
want a
didn't like
9.8.
that one either. The
No,
Boba
I have a raw 9.8 in it.
I don't have that one either.
Wait, do I have that graded? I might actually have that fucking graded.
I
I
don't
think I
like
got
that
two
one.
copies. I think I have a graded and non-graded. Dude, I need this.
That one's coming down in price, Dom. That one's dropping.
You'll get it.
Yeah, I think I saw. It's not a 9.8. You want a 9.8? I thought a 9.6 was 100.
Chad, I don't care what this was a reference to.
Ring the bell.
Just because you said it, it's funny as shit. But the rest of your comments funny as shit too.
Yeah, Pete thought it was hilarious too.
I just was laughing. I just thought, well, shit, a chicken.
Oh, John, we appreciate it, brother. We appreciate it. We have a good time here. I just didn't understand the comment. I mean, I hope it does help. And just, I mean, take our advice with a grain of salt too. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
don't think any of us are seriously here. Like it was AOA said the other day. He's like, why don't we have a fucking show your top 5 books? And like at the same time, Matt Turner goes, that's not fair. And the whole thing about it is like, that's not what we're about. Like, I don't want to be like, we don't want to play that. I mean, that's not even like fun, and
Oh,
plus,
I'll be honest, I'm a terrible comic book collector. Like, I don't get stuff graded as.
dude, I got
I'm terrible.
piles of shit laying around.
I have fucking shit just in boxes, and I forget which box I put it into.
I was never a graded guy. Like really, like when I used to collect comics back in the day, I didn't care about the graded stuff.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get the books. But then as time went on, it's like, oh, this looks pretty cool. Yeah, it looks nice.
Yeah.
I like it. Like
I'm not trying to undercut what we do here, but don't take what we say as being experts.
Yes.
But just take it as like you're asking your buddy, what should I do? We're just gonna give you our honest opinion.
give you different, but it's from different things. Like you can't take what Matt's collection or Wayseeker or Pete even. I mean, Pete's got some big books, but we can't. We're not all we're all different. Like one thing about this channel, it's got a very diverse group. You can't move. We don't all move the same.
Yeah, we all don't play in the same yards.
We do not. We do not. And it's a very vast yard that some of us play a difference in. And I think because we're friends and we don't really talk about it in that way. I hope I don't, at least. And I think we just try to give you it from our point of views, so you can figure it out. So it should cover everybody. Thank you for putting it that way, guys, because that's kind of how I was trying to. I just wasn't hitting it on points, but yeah. So I mean, I think we're just trying to give you all the things. So none of us are right. We're just right for our situation, right? So, what else do we got? I'll tell you. I read comics now. The Mandalorian. I love that show. I'd watch YouTube reactions if people knew so much. I wondered how they knew so much. They read all this stuff. I love it.
John, that's really interesting to me too. Like when I look at next quarter, do we get a Mando bump? Because Mando comes out March 1st.
Yeah.
And Star Wars or not? Because not in the sense of like it's going to raise any books. It's just, is it going to bring a little bit more buyers back into the market because of Mando or not? And all you need is a few more buyers in Star Wars to get a noticeable bump. And so,
he's saying, you saw how little the books were. What he's saying by Mando bump is he doesn't mean the character Mandalorian. He's saying Star Wars. Yeah.
Well, who they end up showing in the show. It's like, well, so and so came back, so we got Bo-Katan.
I don't even care about that. It's just do we get a few more buyers because people
whatever the fuck
love Mando so much?
Yeah, kind of what John said. Yeah, they get that. They get back into the Star Wars fandom.
I don't know. I'll be fascinated to see if we get a Mando bump just because so many people love Mando for good reason.
Well, listen, also
BK, I take every key from the East Coast. That's why you can't get them. Don't act like I don't travel, bro. Just because you don't leave your mom's house in the closet and all that, it doesn't mean the rest of us aren't flying first class, bro.
You know, Bad Batch will have its share of some stuff in it too. You know, and bring back the Star Wars.
Yeah, but that
Star Wars.
But it's not for me. It's not
animation is tougher to move the needle.
Yeah, Mando brings in a different fan. Mando
for some reason,
a completely different fan than Bad Batch does.
For some reason, animation as a whole does not bring in, like, I want a deeper dive into Star Wars, like the whole totality of Star Wars.
Well, that's because
it's very weird.
To be honest, like when you go to your day job, if you have an office job, like Joe Schmo, regular guy who's all about whatever your local sports team is, comes over and he's like, "Hey, man, you like Star Wars? What did you think of Mando?" He knows Mando. He's not going to bother you about Bad Batch. He'd be like, "Cartoons? He's not watching that.
Fair
He's not watching that."
No.
That's true. That's true.
But that same guy will be coming over. Hey, what did you think of Mando?
There's nothing like Mando that brings in different viewers that Star Wars has. And so,
dude, I wore that. You guys know that Boba Fett, like the Boba Fett Christmas sweater that I wore during that show? Yeah. Somebody, I was wearing it.
It was sold out again.
Oh, I was wearing it. I was wearing that to like to a different function, and an older woman said, "Hey, the Mandalorian! I love that sweater. This is the way." And I'm like,
"Yep,
this is the way." Literally, the shit says Boba Fett in bright yellow down the fucking side, but this is the way.
Said no disintegrations.
No, I'm not gonna say that shit.
Oh, then when you clarified, you're like, "It's Boba Fett," and she's like, "Oh, my daughter."
No, don't do that either. Don't. No. I said, "Oh yeah, thank you very much." I was like, "I like it. It's also very well done, and I got it cheap." So, yeah. If you order, hey Pete, if you order that, order me the other thing so I don't have to pay shipping.
I tried.
They
I
couldn't
get the Boba. They only had the Grogu one. I'm like, I almost bought it. But
they have a sweater or like a sweatshirt or something in box lunch, and it's Tatooine. And you see the Jawas and you see the Tusken Raiders and you see Boba Fett flying in the Sarlacc pit. It's kind of cool. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
I don't want the sweatshirt once. I don't want a sweatshirt made to look like a sweater. I want it to be a sweater.
Dude, Hey, BK, they're Greek Macedonians. They all carry weapons, dude. I do not think I'm just going to advise you. This is not a good idea. They will cut you. They will like fucking cut you, bro. Like, you go ahead, but I like you too much for that. So please don't do it.
They will cut you.
They will. They don't give a shit.
They don't mess around. They
Most
lose
of
the
them
one
do
so they can pull the bowstring back, so it's not in the way.
Yeah, when you see the women that are like, we've been through like communism, we ran from that as kids. That's them. Like they don't fuck around, dude. You don't. No, there's no. That's not. No, I'm sorry, dude. I'm praying for you. Do not do that.
Ruben's got another question for us about grading.
Go ahead.
There you go.
Last question about grading. Okay, cool. Sorry.
Nope.
I'm trying to figure out this mic stand thing, guys. Just give me a sec.
I told you.
No, I think I got to reseal it down over here. So, okay, go ahead. Last question about grading. Would you choose a higher grade comic over a lower grade comic in or desired rare comic? No. What is this regarding, I guess?
Ruben, you're not selling it, so it's just for you. I wouldn't worry so much about the grade. Just get the copy that fits what you want to pay at the time. It's
I think
gonna
he's
just
like
be for
saying
you anyway.
I think he's asking if you would choose between like to use an example off the list, if you choose between like a Kanan 6 and like a 9.8 or like a Star Wars 2 and like a 5. I think is what he's asking.
Would you? No, I would not choose. Would I choose a higher grade comic? For me personally, no. Across the board. For my personal collection or for selling, no. The answer is no. I would choose the lower grade rare comic because it's easier for me to move. And number two, I usually have gotten a pretty good price on it. So I would...
I'd also lean
for your
towards
collection.
raw, personally. I wouldn't buy graded low. I'd just get a raw and say, hey, what's the best I can get?
Yeah.
Especially for
Most
things that are
times
more
you'll
modern.
get better than you think. You'll go, this is like a 2.5. Oh shit, I got a 4. Like you'll be surprised sometimes with some of the lower grades what you might get. So
BK, brother, I am warning you. It's like fucking with alligators. You do not. I love them all to death, but I'm scared of some of them motherfuckers too, dude. I'm just telling you. I'm telling you, do not do it.
Hey, Marco, do you remember the story you said? Remember the story you had that time you told us?
Oh, with my aunt?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. The whole fucking Philadelphia as a city scared of my fucking aunt. Like the whole fucking city. She does not care. Yeah. So
There you go.
she's a hell of a chef though. She cooks. She bakes good shit. Like baklava, her baklava is dope as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Also makes like this.
Baklava.
Also makes this like traditional like a sweet cheese bread that's like phyllo dough and butter, like 32 layers. Oh, the fucking shit's so good.
I'm gonna go Venture Brothers for a second. Spanakopita!
Oh,
No?
hey, not Star Wars related, but
No.
Jeremy Renner,
No.
critical condition.
Huh?
Jeremy Renner, in critical condition, in a snow plowing accident.
What?
Snowball?
It just happened. No, Jeremy Renner.
Was he so short that nobody saw him? What the fuck?
Oh, figured he got hurt in a plowing incident.
Oh, like recently?
Yeah, just now. I just got the notification.
Oh,
Wait, what is he doing?
I don't know. They said he's critical but stable.
I don't fucking. Okay, well, that's unfortunate.
What's his,
Hope he gets better.
What was his name? The Star Trek Chekhov, Anton Yelchin. He died checking his fucking mail. Like, there's some shit that
Yeah.
happened, man.
That was weird.
The bird, the pitcher for the Tigers, the bird, his truck while he's doing the oil change dropped on him and killed him
Yeah.
years ago.
It's crazy,
sucks.
man.
All right.
It's unfortunate.
Dom, what was the giveaway? For good comments, right?
Thanks for ending this.
a giveaway? I'm going to actually make it a surprise. I got
Jeremy Renner.
I have something in mind.
What do you have to do for the giveaway? What do you have to do?
Well, okay, I want the best name
Mashup.
for Star Wars. Make a Star Wars name from a Marvel comic, from a MCU comic,
Or DC.
or DC.
Or DC, yeah. So
And-
Star Wars event match.
Star Wars event, cross it over with the Star Wars event to make it, and the best one. We'll take the best couple and we'll put them in a little like raffle type thing with spinning wheel, and we'll.
So you're saying what event from
Yeah,
a DC
pictures.
comic or Marvel comic would you cross over Star Wars? Is that what you're saying?
You just want a name, right? It's about the name, not the event, right? Or is it just
No, not that. Like the name, like make it like a cool
Yeah.
name, like.
And Marco said
Like
he was
Top
going
Hat
to gather
for
all
the
this
universe.
information because he's
Yeah,
going to
kills
read
the Star
every
Wars
single
universe,
one
like
of
that.
them.
I will.
So please put a ton of them in the comments to see if Marco
Pete,
reads
you
them all.
Pete, you do know because he can see behind the scenes. I do read like
You
almost
do.
all the comments.
What you're not going to do is have to copy and paste all those fucking names into a wheel so you run the wheel.
Oh,
That's
no.
what you're getting at.
No, I didn't say all the
I
names.
took it easy, Pete.
No,
I tried to say
no.
one. I tried to
No,
say
I
one.
said
Oh, we're not wheeling that shit out. Fuck no. Fuck no. Why? There's
No.
no wheeling.
No, listen, we're gonna take the top 10, the top
Top 10, top
then-
20. Who
and then
cares?
top 10, and then take the best one out of the top 10.
Yeah, then we're gonna go through it like a
Well,
top
you
10
guys-
list.
I'm leaving it to you guys.
Pete,
to
no
figure out.
problem.
I'm not
I
involved in
got,
this.
fuck you too. I got this covered. Don't
Listen,
worry about it.
how
I'm
about we do
good.
this?
Fine.
How about we do this? We
Cool.
take
I'll-
the
That's
top-
covered, bro. Don't negotiate with these heathens. Do
No,
not
I'm
negotiate with them.
No,
No
I'm saying-
negotiations.
no, I'm saying,
No
how about we do
negotiations.
this? How about we
No
take the top
disintegrations,
10?
no negotiation.
Listen, we take the top 10 and we'll put them on the top tier. Like we'll do the tier list, and the top one will win.
No, because then we
Yeah,
need him for
because
that.
we're
We
gonna
don't
have
want
to
him
do
for
it
that.
again. Now you're giving me work to do.
Now
Now you do work.
I'm
No,
already fucking
No, no,
confused
no.
as to what's going on.
no.
Next week we'll also have a review Bad Batch. We'll have 2 episodes.
JJ, what is the fuck? What? Oh, it's Sam Bankman-Fried. That's in the
Yeah.
Emperor's costume. No, I got it.
SPF.
All right, nice.
Trying
There
to
you
get this thing wrapped up here for everybody's sake, but
Yeah.
No,
we-
what?
we'll have Bad Batch, and I don't know if we'll get to the audiobook or not. I'll have
We'll,
it done
we'll
before.
get to, I will get it done if they compliments of JJ. Thank you, JJ. And then is that okay, JJ?
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you.
JJ, thanks
Is
for
that
fighting.
okay?
Call me out on air. Like, as long as he gives it to me.
Yeah, the way he hooks me up. If not, I don't know how I'm getting that fucking book because I refuse to buy anything from Amazon.
Are you okay with that, JJ?
Yeah, as long as you're okay for me.
I will take those JJ's
Stuff
money
from-
so JJ can buy it.
Huh? I refuse to buy shit from Amazon. For those people that don't know.
You feel all right taking it from JJ, getting it from Amazon.
Well, no, because Amazon has overcharged JJ for stuff, so I'm trying to use it up so that he's not getting ripped off.
What?
He's doing me a huge favor, don't you know?
Yeah, it's like when they're like, "Hey, you get the unlimited package." Like you're at the. I mean, you people probably eat Hot Pockets. You probably eat at Olive Garden. They give you the fucking unlimited. Isn't there like unlimited package at Olive Garden? Or like Buffalo Wild Wings give you.
Yeah, salad, breadsticks, and
Yeah, then I just come by as a friend and I order pop and I'm like, yeah, I'll order one breadstick and I'll
Starts
just keep
eating off
fucking. I'll seat on your fucking plate. Help you out, dude. That's absolutely yeah.
Marco sits down and is like, "You're not going to eat your
Marco-
olives?"
Marco would never eat Olive Garden.
Yes,
let's be
but
clear.
what you're saying is like I won't pay for Olive Garden, but I'll fucking eat there. Is what you're
No, 'cause
saying?
they suck you into paying for it. Yeah, but like I don't want you to feel like, oh, I got fucking ripped off. So I'm gonna go there and help you out and make sure you get every fucking dime you're worth. I'm gonna have 6 people in there and sneaking a breadstick. I'm gonna sneak at every
I
table.
get that.
I'm gonna take the
get that.
bucket around. I'm gonna take JJ's bucket around. Woo, 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 and JJ's gonna be like, another one.
I get all that. My only point is you can't be holier than thou saying, "Well, I don't need a fucking Olive Garden." Or
Well, I
I
didn't say-
Olive Garden. I'll eat it for free if somebody else is paying for me.
No, I wouldn't eat Olive Garden for free. Did you just hear what I said? I was ordering one and giving it all away to all the people behind me.
I know. I know you're trying to be Robin Hood with the breadsticks. You're just fucking.
I'm fucking woo!
Let me help
Six
you
for
with
you.
breadsticks, man.
Breadsticks for you. Breadsticks for everybody. What else they serve at Olive Garden? Salad.
About the salad.
Four of Italy around the table.
Oh, listen, that being said, you're over the 3-hour mark.
Yes, we passed that a while ago.
Which is why I was trying to move this thing along a little bit.
I know.
Until you got to fucking Olive Garden. Happy New Year's. It's good to have everybody here. That was funny as shit.
Yeah,
Holy
that was
shit.
fun.
All right, guys. Somebody take us out of here.
You want me to take us out? All right. Again, thanks for all you guys stopping by, hanging out with us, going through our list. Yeah, check out the revamped memberships. Check out the T-shirts that I showed you that we have over on TeePublic. Sale won't start till the 11th, but you can go check them out sooner. We'll be putting out info on the AMA, the Ask Me Anything for members.
Yeah.
So if you're interested.
So, like, if you want to ask more questions like Ruben did and everything else, we're going to do it for members where we'll get a little bit more specific. And in that one, since it'll be private, maybe we can answer some more
Whatever.
specific questions. We can answer. I mean, we're not going to answer. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. More specific.
Yeah, more specific,
That's right.
more targeted. You don't have to deal with the chat heckling you if you think it's a question you want to put out in front of everybody. So, yeah. And with that, we'll see you guys next week, right?
Right.
All right. Later.
Later.